Hello? Hello, just testing this microphone. Okay, let's do it like this, I guess. Oh, I got a notification. Well, okay. We got a notification, okay. We share. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the State of the Union starts in like an hour or two from now. So we're gonna watch the old one from last year because there's nothing really else to watch, I think. Yeah, about that.
It absolutely does. And I mean, another thing that I'm looking for, in addition to just some of the policy notes that we're looking at, is just how the Democrats are going to approach things that they feel are a winner for them. Whether it's something, if Trump does talk about tariffs, he does talk about like how great they are. We're seeing.
Scribe makes step-by-step guides for any process with AI. You know what's...
I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better
Hey, we're watching
than
the
ever before.
State of the Union from last year because this one hasn't started yet. It's going to start in like
The
2 hours
American
from
dream
now. So
is
it's
unstoppable, and our country is on the
Yeah.
verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it. The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes. We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Guys, I don't know if anyone's here, but what we're doing is we're watching the State of the Union from last year because the one that's supposed to start now, it hasn't really started yet. So we're watching the one from last year. So the State of the Union is supposed to start in 2 hours from now. So we gotta fill up time. So we're watching the one from last year until the new one starts. As soon as this year starts, I'm gonna be changing the stream. So if you're wondering
completely red for
what you're watching right now, this is the State of the Union from last year. Okay, not this year, last year.
Now,
And
for the
as soon
first
as the
time in
one
modern
starts from
history,
this year, I'm
more
gonna be
Americans
changing
believe that our
the
country is
stream.
headed
But
in
it
the
hasn't
right
started yet, so
direction
don't go anywhere.
than the
It's gonna
wrong
start in like
direction.
2 hours
In
from
fact,
now. So it's
it's
like
an astonishing record.
we gotta fill up the time somehow, right? I
27-point
mean,
swing,
I'm not gonna be
the
here
most
just like
ever.
not saying anything, but I decided to start earlier. So again, I repeat, this is the State of the Union from last year. As soon as the one from this year starts, we're watching it. So Yeah, I'm gonna kind of be quieter because
Small
I know I
business
talk a lot.
optimism
But
saw
whatever.
its single largest 1 month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant at Arms to restore order to the joint session.
Hey, if you're new to the stream, please say hi. Someone say hi, okay? No one's saying anything, so that would be nice. Someone say hi. Or something in the chat.
Mr.
If
Green,
anyone
take your
is
seat.
here in the chat, please
Take
say
your seat,
hi,
sir.
introduce yourself. Let's get a
Take your
conversation
seat.
going.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber. Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record, to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land.
I probably shouldn't say this, but I used to charge people over $1,000 to fix this exact kind of scratch. Now,
The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it.
Hey, so if anyone is here, I just want to say again, we're watching the State of the Union from last year because the one from this year has not started yet. So the State of the Union is gonna start in 2 hours from now. We're watching the one from last year until the new one starts. As soon as
In
it
fact,
starts,
it
then
has
I'm
been
gonna
stated
change
by many
the stream
that
to
the
the
first month
new one.
of
So
our presidency
we
is
gotta fill
our
in the time, right?
presidency,
We gotta fill in the time.
is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many. And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever
If
recorded.
there's anyone
ever.
in the chat, say hi, introduce yourself, and we can get a discussion going. Let's talk about something. Say hi if you're in the chat.
They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would
Are you
wipe
excited
out
about what
entire
Trump is saying?
nations,
What do you
or
think
announce the answers
about
to
what
the
Trump is saying?
greatest
Please
economy
let
in
me know in the
history,
chat.
or the
Let me know in
stoppage
the
of
chat.
crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do
Hey,
it, no
hey,
matter
hey.
what. Five times I've been up here.
Is there
It's
anyone
very
here?
sad, and it just shouldn't be this way. So, Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Are we gonna make America great again? Let me know what you think in the chat. Let's make America great again.
Every day, my administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action.
Hey,
Upon
welcome
taking
to the
office, I
stream, everyone.
imposed an immediate
If
freeze on
anyone's here,
all
say hi
federal
and
hiring,
introduce
a
yourself.
freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all
How's
foreign
everyone doing
aid.
tonight? Are you excited for what Trump is saying? Let me know what you think.
I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization. And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council. We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction. To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term. And in that first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job. And we've ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president.
They don't want you seeing this, but they can't hide
Bro,
it
what's
from
up with
you
these
much
ads?
longer.
What's up with these ads?
So first
What
up
is
is
this?
add clean water, about
Strawberry,
3/4 of the way
man.
up. Next
Is allowed
Man,
to
these ads are
viciously
something else.
prosecute his political
We're
opponent
getting strawberries
like me.
now. I mean, it's not even
How
spring
did that
yet,
work out?
right?
Not too good.
But we're seeing
Not too good.
strawberries. They're advertising them. Come on, man.
And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back. And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
How's everyone doing today? Are you enjoying Trump's speech? What do you think of it? Let me know in the chat.
I renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
Gulf of America. Gulf of America.
And likewise, I renamed for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again. Beautiful Alaska. We love Alaska. We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our
For
military.
everyone who's watching, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it that you chose my stream.
And
I'm
our
a very small
country
channel,
will
and
be woke
I just want to say thank you for
longer.
watching.
We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important. You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Welcome to my stream, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate everyone who's on my stream watching this. Thank you so much.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports. Three years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
To everyone who's watching this stream, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching.
And if you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer. What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world.
The common sense.
Common sense has become a common
the common
theme,
sense revolution.
and we will never go back. Never, never going to let that happen.
Bye,
Among
everyone.
my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
Is America affordable again? What do you think? Let me know in the chat if you think America is affordable again.
Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control.
What's the
The
price of
egg
eggs
price is
in the
out
grocery
of
store? Someone tell
control.
me.
And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job.
How much are you paying for eggs? Let me know in the chat.
A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now. And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency. As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill.
Drill, baby, drill. Are you excited for Drill, Baby, Drill?
My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with.
My 73-year-old neighbor just
Bro,
cleared
what's up
8
with
inches
his
of snow in
ads?
her
What's up
pajamas
with
with
his
this
ads?
weird piece of crap while I was.
Investments
Stop
of
with these
trillions
ads.
of dollars
Seriously.
each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
USA, USA, USA.
To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars. And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps. Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight. Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens, $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma, $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+. In the African nation
LGBTQI+.
of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender.
Making mice transgender. Oh, that's a big deal.
This is real. $32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City. He's a real estate developer. He's done very well.
Hey, thank you for voting in my poll. Whoever voted yes, thank you so much for
increase
voting.
vegan local
Thank you
climate
so much for
action
voting. I really
innovation
appreciate that.
in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. You know what we're doing. Should use it ourselves. And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education. The most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud. And we've taken back the money and reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taken back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, the Chief Executive
Bro,
Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you joining us at our next.
Sorry about the ads,
The
everyone.
Government
I know the ads are
Accountability
annoying.
Office,
Can't do anything
federal
about it.
government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129. 3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them. And we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid and nobody does. And it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old. We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby. Including, to finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229, one person between the age of 240 and 249, and one person is listed at 360 years of age. More than 100 years older than our country.
Can you believe it? 100 years older than America?
But we're
Wow.
going to find out
That's
where
an
that
old
money's
person.
going. And it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families. And today, interest rates took a beautiful drop, big, beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done.
Someone
in
else
24
voted in my
years.
poll. Thank you for voting.
Balance
I
the
have 2
federal
votes
budget.
now.
We're going to balance it.
So my poll question is, are you enjoying Trump's speech? Please go and vote. 2 people voted. 1 person voted yes, 1 person voted no. Thank you so much, whoever voted. I don't know who it is, but thank you so much for voting in the poll question.
With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. Everyone who's watching, thank you so much for watching.
Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt, approvals that should take 10 days to get, instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again.
7 people were here. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much again. If anyone wants to say something in the chat, you're more than welcome to say something in the chat.
Resist this change will be removed from office immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over. And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there. They're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that. But I know this group is going to be voting for the.
Oh, remember when they're holding the signs? That was funny with the signs, and the signs were kind of silly. They were silly signs. Come on, you can't say that they weren't. Everyone's holding their signs. Like, what's going on here? Come on.
Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors.
Please vote in my poll question. The poll question is, are you enjoying Trump's speech? Please vote. It's just yes or no. Please vote.
And I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is.
While CNBC tells you to buy the AI boom,
I'm sorry about the ads,
the
guys. I don't
billionaires
have
behind it
blocker
are
or anything,
selling.
so I can't really do anything about the ads. I'm sorry about that.
And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? That, along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world.
How's everyone doing today? If you're here, please say something in the chat. Introduce yourselves in the chat. If there's anyone here. I don't know if there's anyone here at this point. It says there are 2 people here,
And
but
this
I don't
has
know if
taken
they
place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country. In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country. First term. We had a great first term. If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea, but that's what happens. This is happening by friend and foe. This system is not fair to the United States and never was. And so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day.
15% tariffs now.
That's not, just one day cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious
The Supreme
person.
Court ruled against the tariffs,
April
by the way. I just
2nd,
wanted to say
reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do
The Supreme Court ruled
non-monetary
against the tariffs last week, so yeah.
to keep us
Wow.
out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have
have to
been
pay
ripped
back the
off for
tariffs now
decades by nearly every
to the
country on earth,
businesses.
and we will not let that happen any longer. Much has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits.
Oh, did you
with
see what
both of
happened in
them, but
Mexico
even
on
more
Sunday?
importantly,
Oh, man,
they've
that
allowed
was awful.
fentanyl to come into our country at
man.
levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect,
The
receiving
World Cup is
subsidies of
June,
hundreds
the
of
World Cup
billions
in
of dollars.
Mexico.
We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer. Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200
Oh, someone
billion
voted no in the poll. In the
investment.
poll question, are you enjoying Trump's
OpenAI
speech? Someone
and
voted no.
Oracle,
That's
Larry
funny.
Ellison,
Oh man, this is awesome.
announced
Keep voting. Everyone keep
$500
voting in the
billion
poll question. I want to see more
investment,
votes.
which
Please
they
keep
wouldn't
voting.
have done if Kamala had won.
Right now it's 1 yes and 2
Apple
no. So
announced $500 billion investment.
whoever voted no,
Tim Cook
that's just funny.
called me. He said, I cannot spend
Okay,
it
sorry
fast
about
enough.
that.
It's going to
Sorry
be
about
much
that.
higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA. And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people and they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to. Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer. Who will now be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because those goods that come in from other countries and companies, they're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too. It's all going to happen.
Go farmers. Go farmers.
And I have also imposed a 25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama, Jeff Denard.
And we're sure this is shocking for many of you that just hear the news. And
sorry about that again.
Has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raised 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us, very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much. And I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States. Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by 2 impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With Elliston's help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and This is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John. Thank you, John.
Did anyone see the Melania
Thank you all
movie?
very much.
If you have, what did you think of the Melania movie? I haven't seen it, but I'm just wondering if anyone saw it.
Thank you. And thank you to John Thune and the Senate. Great job. To criminalize the publication of such images online is terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody. That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast.
What do you mean cut them for this? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Tom Homan and Christy, I want to thank you, and Paul of Border Patrol. I want to thank you. What a job they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE, law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement. Have to. Last year, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister.
Guys, sorry for the ads again. I really apologize. I don't have ads blocked or anything, so again, sorry about that.
Lauren. Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley. Thank you very much. Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history. and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you. The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president. Thank you. Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America. But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
Hey, please vote in the poll, everyone. Answer the poll question. The poll question is, are you enjoying Trump's speech? Please answer the poll question. Or try not to interrupt as much whenever Trump's talking.
Thank you very much. All 3 savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations. They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or If they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz.
Ooh, they're not
Great
coming
guy.
back, huh? Shrimp is keeping them out. They're not coming back. That's for sure. There we go. Nice. Nice.
In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much. Thank you, Roberto. And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war in America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing.
America first. Okay.
Five nights ago, Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever. But we need Mexico and Canada to do much more than they've done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So, Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you, I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it.
So fast you wouldn't even believe it. In their budget and ahead of schedule. Ooh, someone voted in the poll. Thank you so much for voting in the poll.
Our sovereignty, we must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns. In recent years, our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left.
We're Phoenix Energy, a family-owned oil
Yeah,
company
I have
focused
ads,
on
I'm
unleashing
gonna skip
American
them. Sorry
oil from
about
North
the
Dakota.
Lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bondi, good luck. So important. Going to do a great job. Cash, thank you. Thank you, Cash. They've already started very strong. They're going to do a fantastic job. You're going to be very proud of them. We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice.
That is true. They did vote for him in record numbers. That is true.
1 year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, so we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law.
They gotta go back. They gotta go back.
Get them out of here. Get them out of here.
I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
We need more black police officers, so I approve of this. I approve of African American police officers. We need more of them.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer actually a number of times. The police love him. The police departments love him.
Scribe makes step-by-step guides for any
stop with these
process
ads.
with
Sorry for the
AI.
ads, everyone.
You
I
know
don't
what's
have ad blocker.
And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Ooh, he's an agent of the Secret Service now. Nice, nice, nice. There we go. He even has a badge now. That's how it's done.
Thank you, DJ. DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%. Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr.
I was about to say he was just about to mention RFK. That's what I was thinking. The first thing I was thinking was like, oh, he's going to mention RFK, and he did. He didn't mention him.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering. How quickly they forget. Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000, and now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong, 1 in 36, think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby, good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you. Good job. Thank you. My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January, Little John and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually, all without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology. I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth.
Get the trans out of women's sports. We got trans and women's sports.
And now I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie. And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you. Because we're getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel better?
Go woke and go broke.
Yeah. Our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations. And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you.
Sorry for the ads. I don't have ads locked on. Sorry about that.
I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference. And you know, it was just a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing. And thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a 6-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. And Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
Is that what he said? 4.46 GPA?
Thank you. Oh. Jason, you're going to be on the long gray line, Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future.
Go back and
as a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA. Ronald Reagan wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it. And the United States should have it too, right, Tim, right? They should have it too. So I want to thank you. But it's a very, very important. This is a very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before. To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding. And for that purpose, I am announcing tonight that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
The Panama Canal. America first. It will
Just
be
today, a
America
large
first.
American company announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others, but others could use it. But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria. They died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing there was a 25% chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1, but that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back. And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco. Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it. He got 100 votes. You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes. And I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it. But he's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you. Thank you. He's doing a great job. Great job. And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security. And we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security. And I think we're going to get it.
I do feel like it is the
Sorry
era of
about
like
the
more
ads, everyone. I don't
authenticity
have
than
ad
ever, and
blocker.
like
I'm gonna skip
more
them. Sorry
just different
about the ads
genres to
again.
play with, and more
One way or the other, we're going to get it. We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before. It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of land and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice. And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown that when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call. Every one of them called, and everybody was on the line, and they did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East, we're bringing back our hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords. And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes. $2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans.
Okay,
but I want it to stop.
Right.
Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion, like taking candy from a baby. That's what happened. And they've spent $100 billion. What a difference that is. And we have an ocean separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have stopped it and said at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? It's time to stop this madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end this senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the stream. If you are, please leave a like. Make sure to hit that like button if you're enjoying the stream. Thank you so much. I appreciate all my viewers.
They don't want
Sorry
you
for the
seeing
ads.
this,
Why are we getting strawberries?
but they
as
can't
ads?
hide
What's
it from
happening?
you
What are
much
these
longer.
strawberries?
So first step.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally. That was not pleasant. And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of 2 great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their two beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you. To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his three beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on. Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our country, and it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that. Thank you. Thank you very much. From the patriots of Lexington and Concord to the heroes of Gettysburg and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon, Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free.
That's the sound of an American oil company hard at work. Want to be a part of it? Listen up.
Hello.
And we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age. These workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we're going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond.
Well, it's interesting how like half it's like see like half of them are clapping, the other ones are just like standing there. It's like Democrat versus Republican, right?
And through
Yeah,
it
that's
all,
what I
we
was
are going
thinking.
to
Just
rediscover the
yeah.
unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day we will stand up and we will fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve.
We're gonna fight for the country we deserve. I mean, that's kind of cheesy, man. I mean, oh man, it's MTG. Remember MTG?
My
Wow.
fellow Americans, get
Oh,
ready
wow.
for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you. God bless you. And God bless America.
It will be America first. America first. We will make America safe again. We will make America strong again. We will make America healthy again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, everyone. How does that sound, Travis? It sounds nothing like him, but I mean, I'm trying my best here. That was kind of cheesy on my part, though. Yeah. Okay, so for everyone watching, this was the State of the Union from last year. The one this year is starting in about an hour, but I just needed to fill time, so I decided that we could watch the old one from last year just to remind ourselves of what it was like. But the one this year is starting in about an hour from now, so if you stick around, we're going to be watching the one from this year. So in case anyone was wondering why Marjorie Taylor Greene was in there, she won't be in this one. She definitely won't be attending this one, but yeah. Just wanted us to have a little reminder of what it was like last year. So I'm just about to go to the next stream. I think it has started, so yeah. Yeah, it was, yeah, because I just needed some filler, and I was like, what better way to prepare ourselves for this year's State of the Union than to watch the one from last year, just to remind ourselves what it was like, you know? Oh man, I'm gonna miss Marjorie Taylor Greene, man. She was so fun. I mean, she was always so entertaining, and she's gonna be missed this year. She's gonna be missed. Yeah, I just wanted to start streaming early, and I had nothing better to really fill the time, you know, like I can't really be just standing here just myself. So I was like, hey, let's watch the one from last year. But yeah, I'm about to switch the stream from the one from this year. Actually, I'm gonna do that right now. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm gonna do that right now, actually. I'm still learning how this works, so one second. Stop sharing.
Hey, play for
Bro,
an
these
ultra.
ads,
Don't
man.
forget, there's ultra.
You don't have to introduce.
Fortunately, about 90 seconds later, the same person who told me how bad it was
Okay, so
came
this
and
is
said
the new one.
they were wrong. It was a huge
They're
hit.
gonna the
People
speech.
loved it.
Trump's
And
speech
here's
is about
something
to start in
interesting.
like an
Even as
hour
we
from
talk
now, I
about
think,
tonight, as
at
President
9
Trump will
p.m.
probably
Eastern time.
talk
So
for a long time.
that's about an hour and 10 minutes from now. But I
Audiences
don't really have
tend to
anything else to
grow
like
for these things over time.
play.
It's
So we're gonna
fascinating
be
to
watching
me because and it's
Trump
less
start
true
talking
today
about
than
an
it
hour from
was
now.
back in my day, but it's still true. This is one of the few occasions every year where the country gets to commune with the one person who is elected to be the leader of the entire country, other than the vice president. And believe it or not, and I think it's still true even in this day and time, despite the fact that so much has changed in our political context, I actually think that the country does want to hear from the president. And so you know it's a success. Certainly what happens with polling, and there'll be no end of that once we're
Yeah, I mean,
done.
there's nothing
But
really
some
to
of
like
this rolls
talk
out
about. I
over
don't know,
time. So you were
because
talking
there's like
about
an hour
this as
left.
kind
Like,
of
what are we
in
supposed to like
connection to the midterm
talk
elections.
about? You know.
This, in many respects, for purposes of the national part
Oh man,
of
everyone
the
left.
midterm
We had
election
like
campaign,
we
this
had
is the
like
kickoff.
5 people.
And there's going to
like
be a
10 minutes
lot of
ago, and now you're
resonance
like
of
the
what
only
is
one.
said
Like literally
tonight
everyone
and what
else
the
left. Like,
responses
more
will
really
be
care for this
that are going to
commentary,
flow.
so.
You all know this as
Oh, man.
political
But-
reporters throughout the course
So,
of the rest of
like
the
an
year.
hour ago,
So we'll
I
have to
had
be watching
7
whether it's a
viewers
success or not as
at
the
the
year
same time.
unfolds.
That was like an hour
Don
ago.
Baer, former White House
I had 7
communications
viewers all
director
at once,
for
but I didn't want
President
to tell them
Clinton
to click
and
on
a
the
former
speech from last,
speechwriter
but I
for
guess
the
they knew
president.
this
We
figured
very
out
much
later, so I was
appreciate
like,
your
hey, might
behind the
as well just
scenes
let it play.
look
You know,
at
they,
the State
they
of the
seem to be
Union.
enjoying
Thanks,
it.
Peter.
So I was like,
Well, now we're
whatever.
going over to Arlington, Virginia, to 2 old C-SPAN friends who have been on this at this set
Emphasis
for the
on
past
old.
30 years.
But yeah, man,
On
I
your
feel
left
like
there
a
is
lot of
Chris
the viewers
Saliza
so far. I mean,
and
not of them,
Chuck
but the ones
Todd,
in the
former
chat,
host
they have
of
been
Meet
like
the Press.
pro-Trump
Gentlemen,
MAGA.
what are you up to
So I
tonight?
try not to say anything too offensive.
Well, I
because I don't want to
describe
like
it as
lose my
Mystery
MAGA
Science
viewers.
Theater
Like,
3000 meets the Manning cast.
So there will have like 3 other.
We're gonna watch the State of
that
the
have been in the
Union
chat. I'm just talking about
and
the chat.
be able
None
to
of them seem
comment
be, like,
during the State of
pro-Trump
the
in the
Union
chat, so I
as we're
didn't wanna say
watching it.
anything,
We
like,
don't.
too
We know that there are
offensive.
people
So, I
that just
mean,
want to
those are,
digest the
like, the only,
speech. They're going to be watching you, Peter. They're going to be watching
viewers in the
C-SPAN.
chat. So I
They
was
want to
like,
watch with us. This is
man,
sort
I
of
really.
rather than writing our notes, we'll be
Oh, is it
writing out
really?
loud, if
I
you
gotta
will.
get it
Sort
over, I
of
guess.
taking notes as we go. That's interesting.
Maybe
Oh,
the
that's it.
stream
Oh,
is
need to
just
fact check
too
that.
loud.
Little
I'm
things
gonna
like
mute it a
that.
bit.
Sort of all the ways I know the way I'm going to watch this. All the ways I used to write down.
Okay, I muted it
now I
because
guess
no one
get
really
to
cares
utter
what
out
these guys
loud,
have to
so
say
watch
anyway.
out.
So,
Yeah, it's like a televised version of
yeah, I was
yelling
just
at your
saying that
television, but hopefully
there have
more
been 3
mannerly.
people in the chat so far,
You know,
other than
Chuck
you.
and I have done a
All of them
bunch
seem
of
to be
stuff
pro-Trump, like pro-MAGA,
in space
and I
like
didn't want to
this
say anything too
together
offensive 'cause I
separately.
didn't wanna,
And
like, piss
the
them
great
off.
thing is
Because they were
that
like the only people
I remember
here,
a
and they were
year
gonna leave
ago
probably if
I
I
was
said
trying to
anything.
do
So I was
something
like,
like
oh
this. I don't know
man,
if
I
you know this.
gotta
A year ago I was
not
trying
say
to do something
anything
like this,
too,
and I
like,
basically
you
had
know.
the C-SPAN
So
feed, and I
I
would
was
like
being a little bit
turn
more
it
careful.
down manually and then just
I
like
don't know,
talk
man.
over
Like
it and then
these
turn it back up. It was
YouTube's
very Wayne's World,
recommendation
Peter.
algorithm is just
Like
showing
very. And so this is
my
with
videos and my
YouTube,
streams
with
to,
C-SPAN
like,
in
add
partnership
the
with them. So you're
audience
going
I
to be
wanna
able, Chuck's right.
show
If
them
you
to,
just
so
want to
it's,
watch
like,
the
really
speech,
frustrating, you know?
watch it on C-SPAN. But if you want to watch the speech with
what
some
can I
commentary,
do?
some analysis, hopefully a little bit of humor,
Yeah.
We're going to be doing that. I'm super
I mean,
excited.
it's whatever, man. I mean,
So,
it's just like
Chris Saliza, we are giving you a feed.
I just try
C-SPAN is
to
providing a feed
to just
to
like
y'all,
stay
and you will be
neutral
commenting
and just,
throughout,
like,
correct?
be
And this
more
is called
funny,
a
I guess, so.
watch with. And
As I
Yes,
said,
I
it's
mean,
just YouTube.
YouTube.
Totally, it is exactly what it
not
sounds
knowing
like,
what
Peter.
to-
Which is you're going to
what
watch
to do
the
with
State
my
of the Union,
videos
and
stuff,
I would
so,
note,
it's
you
not-
know,
it's their
we'll
fault.
go on live around 8:30 p.m.
Oh man, so
Eastern
we
time.
gotta
So
like
you'll also
hour
watch
until
it's not the red carpet.
Oh,
I don't know. You know, when everybody's coming in. Oh,
I
there's the
thought it would
cabinet.
start
Please,
with
the
like
current,
8
we love if
o'clock,
we would
but
call this
apparently
the
speech is
red
starting
He
at
would
7,
love
so
that.
I mean,
The pre-show.
I don't think there's other than I'm not sure what everybody's
Whatever.
wearing.
Yeah, I know. We don't know. We're not great on fashion.
But if you
yes,
notice in the poll
you can watch
question,
the entire
you know, like,
speech. And Chuck
6
and I are not
people
going to talk.
voted in the poll, so
I know
that's
people
pretty
think,
cool,
oh,
I
they'll
guess.
just talk the whole time. We're not going to talk the whole time.
But I
But
think
I do
you're
think
the
we
only
do
one who
want to.
actually left
You
a
know,
like on my video.
Chuck
like,
said,
no one
Mystery
else
Science
left
Theater
a like.
3000. If you're
I
familiar
don't
with
know why,
it,
but
meets the Manning cast, which is we're watching literally with you. This is something that YouTube has done for some sporting events before. This is something they're doing on the political front with you guys at C-SPAN, and we got lucky that they asked us.
And
Well,
we've
I
been
mean,
doing this
people are
stuff on some
somehow
election
finding
nights.
this
Not to
stream.
say
I
that
don't know
we're
how
trying
they're
to compete
finding
on
it.
election night, so we've
considering
been
there are, like, no
having
viewers
a
here,
lot
so
of fun and a lot of success
YouTube is
doing
showing
this.
it to people.
Hey,
so,
Chuck,
I mean, I'm happy
pirate
about
radio
that.
here.
Even though I
Who
have
can
no idea
find
how
you guys? Where can you
actually
find you
happening,
guys?
Just go on YouTube. We're going to be on Chris's channel.
Yep, my channel, youtube.com/Chris Cillizza. You can also just search it, and I believe it's definitely on my social media.
Yeah, and if you go on my social medias, I've got it pinned up top.
Oh no,
where the links are.
I'm not
and again, we'll be going live
right
at 8:30 Eastern.
And hey, Peter, we're dependent on our guy Jeremy, our king of C-SPAN social media, to put it on the C-SPAN
the proxy
channels too. I assume I get some kind of royalties for mentioning Jeremy on the air.
Well, on YouTube, on our C-SPAN channels,
so
you
I
will
had no
get
choice
us
but to use
here on
this,
C-SPAN. You will get the sights and sounds
what's it
on
called?
C-SPAN
YouTube
too. No
Studio
commentary,
thingy, so
no
I don't know.
conversation. And then we
I'm
want
just
to make
gonna,
sure
like,
that if people are interested
keep
in having
like
maybe a
this for
little
right
looser
now.
time,
I mean,
they
for-
can go
yes, for tonight, I mean.
and visit with.
Yeah,
I just can't
we
really
didn't even
bring
bring
Chuck.
ties, Peter.
What can we do?
Hey, I've got Alex Gangitano of Politico here on the set, and she has a question for you, gentlemen.
Yes.
Chris and Chuck.
Hi.
Two questions for you.
Yeah, because
actually.
on
I was just
OBS,
thinking of
everything
another
is
one.
fine on OBS,
One,
but as I said, this
best State of the Union
so
moment
there's
that
nothing I
you've
can do.
experienced as journalists. And second, where does the president's State of the Union of a midterm year rank in terms of the 4 addresses he gets to give in a
Why don't
term in
you
terms
take-
of
Yeah,
excitingness?
Why don't
Yeah, I
you
just
take the
gotta
second
turn
one,
it
'cause we were
down
just
a bit,
talking
I
about
guess,
this vis-a-vis
the-
Trump, and
Yeah,
I'll
the video
I'll
sound,
answer the
I gotta
first
turn
one.
I
down.
would say,
Down a
look,
bit
in
when
a
I'm speaking.
first term, when there's going to be a re-elect, it's that 4th State of the Union, right?
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah, man,
technically
like
the
someone at
third,
the
since
start,
very
like
first
it
one
was
is,
an hour ago, they were
not an
like,
official State
"Oh,
of the
you're
Union, it's the whole
interrupting
address to
Trump
the
too
joint
much."
session.
So
In the
I
second
try to
term,
not to talk over
I
him.
think this is the biggest
Only
one.
when people are
It
uploading
is the
stuff.
midterm one. It's really the last chance the president has to make a case. And I say the president, meaning this is not this president. This is all presidents when you're in this point in your
Bro,
second
what
term.
was that?
Of making your case
Bro,
before
remember
the
that
public
Brandon
starts
guy?
to
Like,
look towards the
that was
future.
like 20 minutes
And
ago.
so this is, I
There
think,
was
the
some
last
guy
time
in
where
the
the
chat called
referendum,
Brandon or
this
something,
election's
and he
going to be
left
the
like the
referendum
most
on you,
unhinged
good
comment
or
I have ever,
bad.
like,
So
read.
this is a
I have no
huge
idea what that
moment
was about.
to
but
sort
I
of
mean,
reset. If you think you need to
that was
reset,
just
I think
unhinged.
you
If
look
you
at
read
the
that
polling right
comment,
now.
I
This
mean, if
is
you
a
scroll
White
back
House
up
that I
to
think
the
needs
comments,
to
probably
reset.
still
So we'll
there.
hear how he
That was
does
pretty
that.
unhinged.
Or it's a chance to sort of, to sort of slow things down or advance an agenda. So that's why I have genuine mystery about
yeah,
this.
so it was
not
in
in
the
the
chat. If
general
you can
topics
scroll
he's
up,
going to talk
like
about.
all the way up,
But
like
we all
it
know
was
this.
right
There's
after
what the
he
White House
came in.
staff wants
There
him
was
to
a
focus
guy.
on,
There was a
and then there's
some
what
user,
he is
his
going
name was
to
like
want to
Red or
focus on.
something.
How much
he
is
was
Iran
talking
at the
about,
top front of his mind versus other
he said
issues,
something
right?
really
How much is the
unhinged.
tariff?
It was
That
just like one
is, to me,
comment.
what genuinely makes the State of the Union, which is normally such a planned event, right? With any other president, you know exactly, even the laundry just of proposals we'd already know by now. Not with this guy. And it really does make doing extra. He's so far might be one of the few presidents where you're like, yeah, maybe there are a variety of ways you should try to consume a State of the Union with him, because it is a more unusual event with him than it is with other ones.
And then I'll just pick up on Chuck, sort of he said, the last one, the last State of the Union of a first term or the midterm.
So the
one
comment I'm referring to,
remember
it's
as
like so there was this other guy, right?
Was Bill Clinton 96, right? He's
wrote a comment.
in a not super dissimilar position.
So
to
you
Trump.
wrote,
It wasn't
wouldn't
super
be
popular.
surprised
Everybody
if he
remembers
tries
he
again
rolls
in
over Dole in
2028. That's what
96.
you wrote.
But
Then
in January
I
of
wrote,
96, and
it's like
that's the speech
2016
very
all over
famously
again,
where he
and then
declares
this
the era of big
guy,
government is over.
Ahmed
There's all this
AJ, he
outreach
wrote
to
Ted Cruz
Republicans,
isn't very strong,
and he
wrote
winds up
Golden
putting
Dome.
away Bob Dole
And then
very
right
early in that
under
race. I
that
think
comment,
that
right
kind
under
of
the
was like
comment
a
that said
framework.
Golden
I
Dome.
think he framed the
There
New
was a
Hampshire
guy called
primary, if I'm not
Brandon
mistaken. But
Sturba.
look, you asked the most
That's
memorable
his
State of the
username,
Union.
Brandon Sturba, and he
It's
wrote
the-
some really
in it.
unhinged
I know
comments
it's
that
not
I'm
a.
not gonna read
I don't think
right
it was
now
a
on
State of the
stream
Union. I
because
believe
don't
it
want
was a
YouTube
joint
just
session
like
speech. But either way,
take down
it's
my video or
the
something.
split
But it
screen
was a
with
really
OJ.
unhinged comment. I'm not sure if you're not saying
Oh
it.
my God.
We had an
94.
OJ trial on the State of the
94.
See,
Union.
Chuck is so much
Peter,
older than me.
You
He
know what?
remembers that.
Believe it or not, you two talked a lot, and we are out of time.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Oh, but he got
okay,
the
I'm
important
not sure
Chris
how
that
Cillizza
OJ one is
pull it
and
up,
fascinating.
Chuck Todd, they've been
Yeah.
on this network for 25 years. It's good to see you,
We'll see if we
gentlemen.
can get to
Thank
26.
you. YouTube,
my
watch
friend.
with Chris Cillizza and Chuck Todd. That's how you
Oh
can
wow.
find
Okay,
that.
so maybe YouTube
good
like
luck tonight.
filtered
We
it or
look forward to
something? Maybe
hearing
it got filtered
the
out for you.
results.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I'm not
Peter.
really sure.
Greta
That's
Broner,
so weird.
what do you
though.
got for us?
You know,
How
I'll
many
take
o'clock?
like a screen
I want to go
grab
back to what Marissa was talking about at the beginning of tonight's coverage, and that tonight's speech is about Team USA. Well, that's literal. Take a look at this picture and this video from the White House. This is the Team USA men's hockey team, gold-winning hockey team, arriving in Washington. The men's hockey team greeted uniformed soldiers and fans at Dulles International Airport earlier today. The group arrived from Miami on Air Force Two, the plane used by Vice President J.D. Vance, taking photographs before boarding buses to meet President Trump at the White House. And this is the picture that the White House sent out. Champions in the house. And you can see there the 20 hockey players from Team USA lined up. And this is the moment at the White House when the winger for the team, Matthew Tkachuk, hands the president his gold medal.
That's
Let's
so weird,
listen in.
When I was playing the other one, the one from last year, I really want to. It was like there were people coming, there were 5 people, and now it's like you're the only person right here. So it's like, I don't know what that's about.
President Trump at the White House today with the men's hockey team. USA Today reporting that an invitation did go out to the women's hockey team, also winning gold. They declined the invitation to the State of the Union. Peter?
Well, it is 8 p.m. on the East Coast, and good evening to you. The State of the Union speech begins in 1 hour, and we are live from the nation's capital tonight. We're live from Capitol Hill. We're live from the White House. The President and Mrs. Trump will be leaving the White House shortly for the 16-block drive down Pennsylvania Avenue to the Capitol building. President Trump will be delivering his first State of the Union address of his second term. This will be his 6th address to a joint session of Congress during his times in office. Now, his speech comes as lawmakers remain at an impasse on the funding of the Department of Homeland Security, some of the other political issues in the background tonight, the debate and uncertainty over tariffs, the ongoing fallout over the Jeffrey Epstein investigations, the public dissatisfaction with the economy, and of course, major tensions.
You know
in
what
the
I'm
Middle
going to do
East.
actually? Because
Now,
oh
the
man, I'm
speech
just
begins
like
in
I really
1
want
hour,
to do it.
and President Trump is expected to.
I'm gonna play some of the
make
other
an
ones
argument
again, just to
for
see.
why
I'm going to use it
voters
as
should
bait,
back
just to see
Republicans
if,
in this
just
November's
for like 10,
midterm
15
election.
minutes, just to
We'll
see if
talk
anyone
more
actually
about
shows
tonight's
up. I'm
address
just so curious
with our
about
guests
this.
who are here in the studio with us in just a moment. But over at the Capitol.
Unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
Gaussian switch. Oh man, that's pretty funny. Gaussian switch. Let's see if anyone shows up now again.
I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better
never mind. I don't want to be doing this
before.
because people can show up and they'll be like, "Yo, what are you saying?" So I'm just gonna switch back to. Whoa! What just happened? Oh man, that's crazy. Wait, what was it?
I think the mood is striking because there are very heavy diplomatic foreign policy topics like Iran and whether the U.S. military will conduct these strikes hanging over this speech. There is also a strong desire from Republicans in Congress and Republican officials working in the Trump White House for the president to really lean on
How is the video
domestic
sound compared
policy
to my
and his accomplishments over the last year, like the
microphone?
big beautiful bill being signed into law
I mean,
last
which
summer,
one's
and his
louder? Is it
goals
my
to kind of
microphone or
message
like
to the
video
American
sound?
people in the months months ahead about why Republicans should fare well in November's midterm elections. But you mentioned a good amount of Democratic lawmakers are notably boycotting this speech. There's a bit of counter-programming happening over on the National Mall.
Oh,
So
is it
progressive
really?
groups are hosting different
Oh, man,
senators and
that
representatives and
sucks.
other progressive media figures. And they're kind of trying to do a counter-programming like we saw a couple of weeks ago with the Super Bowl halftime show, where conservatives had their own halftime show. So there are some mixed emotions here. There's excitement, of course, for the president's supporters, and Democrats who are here are acting a bit more solemn, and they're not necessarily thrilled with what they're going to hear from the president tonight.
How's the press turnout tonight in Stat Hall? Is it pretty full?
I don't know, man.
You know,
I don't
it's
know what's up
surprising.
with
This
the
is my
mic.
8th State of the Union or
Like,
joint address
my
that I've
mouth is
covered, and it's
literally
not
like
jam-packed in here. I think it's starting to fill
my
up as the
mouth
cabinet
is
members
literally on
start
the
to
mic,
arrive, but
nothing's
it's
happening.
notably, I would say, about 50 or 60% full, which is striking. But there are setups, of course, in the different rotundas in the House and Office Senate buildings, and there have been lawmakers and their guests making appearances there throughout the day.
And you can see from that shot there is a bit of an aisle in the middle for people to walk through. Taylor, who have you seen walk through so far?
One of the most notable ones for political
Yeah,
nerds was Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. He
I
is
can,
locked in
but
a
the thing
really
is though,
heated
so I
Republican
have
Senate
2 tabs
primary
open. I have
running
one
against
tab
current
with
Texas
my
Republican Senator
YouTube
John
studio,
Cornyn.
the
Paxton
one
is the guest of Texas
that's where my
Congressman Troy
YouTube
Nels,
studios, and then my
it's
other
rare
tab
that
is
we
with
see
the
him
video.
kind of
So I
amongst
have
a
to
ton
like
of
go back and
journalists
forth
like
between
this,
the 2 tabs.
especially as a lot of
And
conversations are
it's
focused on
kinda,
Texas
I mean, I guess I
Republican
could do
Congressman
that,
Tony
but I
Gonzalez,
just
who's
can't really see
facing
my
a big scandal right now.
webcam.
So
But
that
I
stood
guess the
out to
webcam
me.
doesn't really
On
matter.
top
So I
of the
guess, yeah, I
cabinet
can do
members
that.
that we mentioned, there are ones who don't appear before the cameras a lot. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, she walked by a short time ago. A lot of rank and file House and Senate members with their guests who, unsurprisingly, walk into this very historic hall and are taking a bunch of pictures. So it's been notable there. But in terms of what questions these lawmakers are being peppered with, a lot are being asked about Congressman Gonzalez from Texas. He's been accused of having an affair with one of his staffers who died
man,
last
it's like,
year after
bro,
setting herself on
is no
fire.
one gonna
And it's
come
something
now
that the
again? It's
Republicans
like, oh,
are
man,
talking a
that
lot
sucks.
about, because he's facing calls to
It's
resign.
funny how,
and if
like,
he were to resign, even though he's saying right now that he wouldn't, that would really impact an
Yeah,
already slim
there are
majority
like no
in the
settings.
House,
Like
where every
I
vote
just
counts to
went
help
over all
advance
the
President Trump's agenda.
YouTube
What is
studio
that
settings.
majority
Like
right
there are
now?
no
Do you know?
settings when it comes to like
Sorry, say that one more time.
What is the
mic
majority right now? What is the
mic
breakdown?
I
noise level
believe
and stuff. There's
Republicans
just no
have a
settings.
4-seat majority. And of course, they have to be voting in person. So there are often absences. And you have congressmen like Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie, who often votes against the party and has drawn a lot of public criticism from President Trump and frustration from people like House Speaker Mike Johnson. So every vote counts, and Democrats are not interested in helping Republicans in most cases.
Taylor Popliars with Spectrum News. Mr. Popliars, have I been saying your name correctly?
You're close. It's long. It's Populars, but you've been doing a great job,
It's
Peter.
Populars. Got it. We will remember that for now on, I promise. Taylor, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for being with us tonight. We look forward to you coming back.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, this is conversation, commentary, and your calls tonight here on C-SPAN
Man,
1.
like,
In a few minutes, we'll
I don't
turn
get
C-SPAN
like
2
how
over
people
to
stopped
just the sights and
coming in,
sounds.
because like
No commentary.
like
but
an
that's in a
hour
little
ago
while.
I was
Stick
getting
with us
like
for
I think
now.
I had at most like
202,
7 people
if you want
like
to
at the same
participate, because
time.
the
Now
third
it's like
leg of that stool is
you're like the only
your
person.
calls.
I don't know what
202 is the area
happened.
code for all of our numbers.
I guess I should have like started like
748-8921
even
for
like for
Republicans,
5 hours ago. Maybe I would have had even more
748-920
back
for
then. I don't
Democrats,
know.
748-8922
Now it's like I don't have
for
anyone anymore.
independents, and you can
Other
send
than
a
you, of
text
course.
message as well if you can't get through on your phone lines. 202-748-8903 is the text number. If you do send a text message, please include your first name and your city. If you would, we'd appreciate that. And we'll be taking those calls in just a few minutes. But we've got 2 excellent journalists here on the set with us. We've got Alex Gangitano of Politico and Marissa Schultz of the New York Post.
I don't know, man. Like I'm gonna
what's the
at least
headline,
stream maybe
Alex,
like
going into
at least
tonight?
half an hour, maybe
What is the
more. But if
headline
no
an
one
hour
shows
before
up,
the
I'm just
speech
gonna
in
like
review?
end the stream. Like
I think the
I mean, I'm
split
talking like
screen
when the
of
speech
what
starts.
we're
It's
looking
gonna
at here, I
start
think
like
the White House would want their
at like
headline to
9
be
o'clock
patriotism.
Eastern
We're going
time.
into America
But if
250.
no one shows up,
the
then I'm
president
just gonna,
has
like,
ideas
call it
and big
quits, I
ideas
think.
for
But
our
there's no
country.
point. If
And
people
I think
aren't
on the
showing
other
up, then it's
side,
kinda
the
like, I don't
headline
know, it's kinda
is
pointless.
he has a low approval rating right
I don't
now. Affordability has not been tackled.
It was fun while there were people showing up,
and
but now
there's
it's like,
other
you know.
underlining questions that Americans want him to answer tonight. And I think those questions are largely as kind of Chuck Todd alluded to, we don't have that laundry list of
I don't know what
he
happened.
wants to
people
do
just
this
stopped
year.
showing up.
Remember
they
going
were
into
before, but
some of
now it's
former
like,
President Biden's speeches,
I
you
don't
could
know.
almost envision exactly what he was going to say and which policies he was going to tout. Tonight, we don't know. Is he going to come out with a new idea for the economy? Is he going to come out with an announcement on foreign policy or on a new idea for how to implement his trade policies? And, you know, he's a president that always keeps us guessing, but especially tonight, I think Americans are looking for what new thing are you bringing to me that can impact how I feel about the State of the Union.
And joining us all as well is Marissa Schultz, who is a national politics reporter for the New York Post. Marissa, your headline.
Right now, it's a lot of excitement whether Trump can kick off the midterms for the Republican Party. The margins are so slim, as Taylor alluded to. Democrats just need to pick up as few as 3 seats to win back the House, 4 seats in the Senate, and it will just take a few districts to flip, and then in the Senate, just a few seats. And Democrats are feeling really optimistic. They think that they can definitely take back the House. They're even feeling a little bullish about the Senate, which traditionally would be a reach for them. But they look at President Trump's approval ratings. They look at how voters have responded to him
someone joined, and as soon as you said that, they left like the next second.
And they see a real big opening. So Democrats tonight are hoping that they come out looking better because Trump is undisciplined and he is doing things that won't set up the Republicans for success.
No, it's fine,
but
man. It's fine.
That,
I mean, they probably saw that it's commentary, and they were like, "We don't really want to see commentary." I just think people just want to see the speech. They don't really care to see the commentary. I mean, I don't really care to see the commentary.
Exciting about deregulation that they believe will make, say, cars cheaper. They've done things on healthcare in terms of Trump RX.
Man, but this YouTube algorithm is crazy. It's like
young children
save
for their future with $1,000 at the time of their birth.
Like
so they feel like they have a really good record to tout, and they just need to do a better job of selling it. And then the poll numbers will come around, and the midterms will be better.
I'm sure you can find the right audience.
Scantitano, we talked to a speechwriter a little bit earlier, Don Baer of the Clinton speech team. What do you expect in tonight's speech?
Yeah, it was interesting. Something we discussed with Don was how there's sometimes conflicting interests within the White House of what should we address and how should we address it. And we have seen this White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles is a political operative who knows how to sell the president's agenda. She was obviously extremely successful in his last campaign. Somebody like that has this political vision of how do we message, and so Republicans can take the win tonight. And then there's others like Stephen Miller is so focused on immigration. We'll be hearing about immigration, but in what lens? Do they tone down some of the rhetoric after what we saw in some states and ICE raids? We have some other policy advisors of the president that will want him to be angry about what happened to his tariff agenda in the Supreme Court. How much does he take that into consideration?
Oh, am I really?
Again,
what?
We know that there's some more populist mindsets within this White House who want him to nail down issues like not having corporate interests buy up housing, and how do you prevent that? And then some more traditional economic minds who want him to look at some approaches that Congress could take on that's more of a conservative mindset. And so I think it will be interesting to see which of those interests the president ends up talking about tonight.
That's crazy.
We're going to take your calls in just a minute, but as always, Greta Bronner is with us. Hey, Greta, what do you got?
Peter, we've been talking about
what's
the
a new out
speech tonight, the length of it. We're expecting 2 hours from the president tonight. And a reminder to our viewers that after the president finishes his remarks, there will be a Democratic response. Tonight, that will be delivered by Virginia's first female governor, Abigail Spanberger, who won in 2025, former CIA operations officer and former member of Congress. She will be delivering the Democratic rebuttal
Oh, you
tonight
know why?
from
Okay, so I think I
the
know why.
old
Because
Capitol in
so remember
Colonial
that inspirational video
Williamsburg.
I
That is
sent
the
you
setting
yesterday?
for tonight's
So I
remarks
was
from
running
Abigail Spanberger.
uh,
She won
Google
the
ads on it just to
2025
get
gubernatorial
subscribers.
election,
And man, I
beating
got
the
the
then
weirdest
Lieutenant
subscribers
Governor
ever,
Winsome
man. Like
Earl
if you see, because
Sears,
my subscribers, they were literally
57.6%
just,
to
I just put
42.2%.
USA as a
She
country,
won
and I put
on
English
the
as a
issue
language.
of
I didn't put
affordability.
anything
And
else because I
according
wanted
to
them to be as cheap as possible.
WWBT, she is going to
So
focus on
YouTube just gave me
affordability
like
and
the
criticism
weirdest
of President
subscribers ever,
Trump
man.
as
It's like,
expected tonight.
I
Those
don't
will
know
be
how
her
YouTube does
central
that, but it's like
themes. She says
these
she plans to address the
subscribers
cost
that
of
I got from the
housing,
Google ads, they were
healthcare,
like,
energy, and
wow,
groceries,
man. I mean,
all the issues
that's all I'm
that
gonna
she
say about
campaigned
that. So
on. So look for her entire
that's pretty
remarks
crazy.
on the C-SPAN networks. Finally, I'll just end
Hey,
with some color
for the
inside the
viewers
chamber.
that
We're waiting
just
for
joined,
the House lights to
Trump's
come on
speech
in
is
that
starting
chamber.
in
That is where
45
all the
minutes from
members,
now.
their
Okay,
guests, the president,
there's
the
been a
cabinet,
delay, I think. There's been a
Supreme
delay.
Court
It's starting in
justices,
45
all
minutes.
gather
So
on the
if you want
House
to stick
side
around
of the
for the next
Capitol.
45
Ben
minutes, you can
Jacobs,
do
who's
that.
an independent journalist,
And we're
saying
just
that in the
kind
House
of
chamber right now,
waiting for
there
his
is a
speech
seat
to
near the
start. It's
front
starting in
with a
45
cardboard
minutes.
sign
So
on it with Al
there's been
Green
a delay.
written
There's
in
been a
all
delay.
caps. So Al Green, the congressman from Texas, who stood up and shook his cane at the president last year, is trying to reserve a front row seat for tonight. Peter?
And of course, as we
Oh.
discussed, there are no reservations. You cannot hold a seat, but if it's on the Democratic side, maybe the Democrats are
I
respecting
mean,
that
so
and
I was
holding
watching
that for
CNN, and
Al
CNN
Green.
said
Well, we've been
it
fortunate
was
to have
supposed to
two
start
guests
at
with
like
us all
8
night,
o'clock,
Alex Gangitano of
but
Politico,
I'm not
Marissa
sure if CNN
Schultz
meant the
of the New
coverage
York
or the actual
Post.
speech.
Now, it's
So
going
I
to
could
get
be wrong.
very
So I could
busy
be
in
wrong.
the
So
next
it
45
was
minutes.
either
We've
the
got the
coverage or the
president
actual
leaving the White
speech, but
House.
I thought
We've
it
got the
was
Senate
supposed to start late. Maybe
gathering,
not.
and then
Maybe I'm
walking
the
over
one
to
who's
the
wrong. So
House.
I'm not
We
sure.
have the House lights coming up. And then we have all the milling about, and then of course the arrival of the
Man,
president,
that
et cetera.
person
So
left.
it's
Man,
going to
it's
get
so hard to
a
get
little
viewers just
chaotic
to like
here
stick
in the
around.
next
It's like
45 minutes. But to
no
help
one
us
wants to
set the
stick
scene
around.
from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue is Alex Eisenstadt of Axios. Mr. Eisenstadt,
I
what's
have no
been the
idea how
mood in
people
the
were
White
finding me
House
because when I
today?
was playing
What have
the
you learned about
speech from
tonight's
last
speech?
year, I told you like
You
I
know,
have no idea how
look,
people
this
were
speech,
finding me. Like at
there's
one
no
point, I had
question that
7
it's a
viewers
big
at the same
moment
time. They're called
for the
concurrent
president,
viewers, right?
He's
I had
he
7
needs to turn
concurrent viewers
things
at the
around.
same
It's
time.
not
That was like
that
that was right before
things are
you. That was right
necessarily
before you joined. Actually,
nosediving for him, but
so
it's
I
an
have no
important
idea how
moment,
they
right?
were.
His numbers are
I have no idea
depending
how they were
on his
even
poll
able
numbers are
to find
depending
me.
on
So
which pollster
that's
you
kind
look
of
at
crazy, man.
are either in the low 40s or mid to high 30s. And so this is one of the perhaps the biggest audience that Trump will have before the midterm election. And so this is his moment.
Bro, there was a
this
guy.
is his
I think
opportunity
it
to
was
speak
right before
directly
you
to tens of
joined. There
millions
was a guy in the
of
chat,
voters
some user,
to
and he
describe
was like,
his agenda
"Oh,
and
RFK
and
is
how it
great. Pete
compares
Hexet
and
is
contrasts
great
that
and
of
stuff,"
Democrats.
and I didn't say
Alex, will you
anything,
be
man. 'Cause
watching the
it's like
speech
I didn't
from
want
down
my
at the White
only
House? Or are you going to make your
like
way down
person
here
in
to
the
the
chat to
Capitol?
leave. So I was like,
Actually, to be honest with you, I think I'm going to watch from home. Pretty good view. Maybe I'll watch on C-SPAN, actually. So.
Well, Alex Gangitano of Politico is here, and she has a question for you, Alex. Hang on.
Hey, Alex.
Alex to Alex. Here we go.
I'm curious, what is the general vibe at the White House right now? Have you seen any aides walking around, anybody in the driveway wanting to gaggle with reporters, or what's the mood over there?
Yeah, from everything I've heard, they're going to head over pretty soon, getting ready for the president to leave the premises. You're definitely hearing helicopters overhead, a lot of sirens. Definitely a big security presence here in DC, as there is typically on State of the Union nights. But one of the trademarks of the Susie Wiles operation is they're pretty unshakable, right? You saw this during the first year of the administration, and you also saw this during the campaign.
Let me know when you're back.
They exhibit and they exude a lot of confidence, even when things appear to be getting pretty bumpy. They've always shown a lot of confidence, at least on the outside. And it's going to be interesting to see how that takes shape over the remainder of this year.
Yeah.
Alex, Marissa Schultz of the New York Post is here with us as well, and she has a question for you.
Hi, Alex. Yesterday, President Trump said that it would be a long speech. If you were guessing or predicting, how long do you think is long tonight?
So apparently last year he went something like an hour 45 minutes. So if he's suggesting it's going to be longer than that, you'd have to assume it'd be 2 hours, maybe 2 hours plus. The question though is for him, if you're starting the speech at 9 p.m., that means you're getting pretty late into the evening, at least on the East Coast. And so there is some risk in this speech going that long because you could be losing some viewers the longer you get.
Alex Eisenstadt of Axios, we very much appreciate you being with us to help set the scene from the White House. Now, in just a few minutes, we expect the president to be leaving the White House. In just a few minutes, we expect the Senate to be gathering in their chamber to make the short walk across the Capitol to the House chamber. And it's always interesting to see how they walk across, if they walk across in pairs. So it might be a D and an R, or, they're sending a message when they do that walk across. So we'll be watching that as well. And then in the next 10, 20 minutes, the House lights will come on. And then we'll see the mulling about on the floor, et cetera, et cetera. So if we cut you off at any point, we don't mean to. We're just trying to make sure we give you everything that's happening tonight, all the pageantry and all the events. Emerson, Athens, Ohio, on our Republican line. You have been very patient, Emerson. Please go ahead with your question or comment.
Oh, thank you. I'm very excited for the president's speech tonight. I have a friend who was actually at the Capitol. His name's Jay Edwards, a very good friend of mine. I'm really excited for him. I'm very happy for what the president has done for our country. The wars are over. Palestine has gotten better. Israel's gotten better. I am generally excited, but I have a question. What do you think the midterms will look like be in Ohio next year? Does Sherrod Brown win back from John Huston? Does John Huston cruise to victory? Will be a very interesting night. So thank you very much.
Emerson, are you a college student in Athens?
I am a college student here at Ohio University. Go Bobcats.
And what are you studying, Emerson?
Actually, meteorology, but I have a love for politics.
Emerson of Ohio University, meteorologist. We appreciate it. Marissa Schultz, talk to Emerson about his question about basically the midterms and maybe the focus on Ohio, a state that President Trump has won 3 times.
Yes. So in order to win back the Senate, Democrats need to win four seats. And the 4 seats that Democrats are targeting and feel like they could really flip are North Carolina, where Tom Tillis is retiring, Maine, where Susan Collins is up for re-election, likely going against Janet Mills, but there's a primary there as well. There's Alaska, where you have Dan Sullivan up for re-election. And the 4th and final state is your home state of Ohio. So Senator Schumer feels very optimistic in his recruitment of Sherrod Brown. He thinks that he's like the best sort of candidate to win back Ohio. And right now, the polls are tight, but this is still early, of course. It's only February. And if I were Republicans or Democrats, I'd be spending a lot of money there because this is a seat that is really up for grabs. Of course, Republicans have an inherent advantage there of having an incumbent, but as we've seen before, if the president's approval rating is low and if it stays at this low level, that can trickle down and really impact turnout in a place like Ohio, and it could keep Republicans at home.
As you can see now, the Senate has turned on their lights and they've come alive in their chamber, and they will be gathering and lining up there. You can see the lines start to form. I see Elizabeth Warren down there, and here comes, this is through Statuary Hall, on its way into the House chamber. It looks like the astronauts, the Artemis astronauts that they were invited, that Mike Johnson, I believe we heard earlier that Mike Johnson invited the Artemis astronauts on. And so people are starting to make their way down that middle aisle that we showed you earlier. So the Senate, you will see them, you can see that they're lining up. And they're going to go out the door in the back that you cannot see. And that leads straight to the House chamber through Statuary Hall. And so they're gathering, and we will watch that once they get into Statuary Hall. We'll keep an eye on it. We're also expecting the president and Mrs. Trump to leave the White House very shortly. Drew is in Chicago. There's the White House door. We'll wait for him to come out, and then we will listen in. But in the meantime, let's hear from Drew in Chicago.
Hey, good evening. Irrespective of what the president says on like the economy or immigration or anything like that, I don't think there's anything that he can do to take attention away from the Epstein scandal. With especially where it seems like right now his DOJ is actively protecting an international child sex trafficking ring. So the question associated with this is there anything that the president can do in this speech to try and save face?
Thank you, Drew in Chicago. Alex, we might cut you off, but go ahead and start to answer.
Yeah, I think to Drew's point, there's not a lot I think that the president can say and wants to say. I think that's the biggest point here. We've heard the president actually from his own mouth say, I'm tired of talking about this. This is a Democrat issue. It's not my issue anymore. And so I think the president is going to avoid talking about the Epstein files, talking about this situation with the Department of Justice and how they've handled it. But I think Democrats especially want to keep it at the forefront. We know they'll be wearing these pins. When they leave Statuary Hall, if you see these reporters lined up, when the senators are entering and then House members will leave that way along with senators, they could talk to the press about whatever they want after the speech. And we could hear from them saying that they wanted to hear more about the Epstein files. And so I think Democrats, at any chance they get, are going to want to get in front of the media and bring it up again. We also know that Congressman Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie will be sitting together as a show of solidarity of the two congressmen who were behind forcing the DOJ to release those files. That will be something notable to Trump. Will they be in those aisle seats? You know, Peter, I love seeing who's in the aisle seats that the president kind of acknowledges and takes note of. Is Thomas Massie going to want to be front and center, or Ro Khanna, who could be a candidate for 2028 for the White House? Is he going to want to have to, get in front of the president, maybe shake his hand, have something to say? Here's he is at the White House again. Are we going to also hear from the president in front of the press right now? And will the press ask him, are you going to talk about the Epstein files? I think that's a lot of Americans like Drew want to hear that.
And we're looking at the South Portico. That's a live shot of the South Portico. It looked like Stephen Miller walking out there. I don't want to say that out loud unless it's not. But this is, so you see a lot of activity, a lot of people coming out of that White House. We haven't seen the president and Mrs. Trump yet, but there is a gaggle there, correct? Waiting outside at the south entrance, the South Portico. President and Mrs. Trump will get into the Beast, aka the limousine. I expect them within the next minute or so, and we will listen in. And then they will take the 16 blocks down to Pennsylvania Avenue. They don't have to wait for stoplights or anything, so we know exactly how long that drive is going to be. Earlier through Statuary Hall, outside the House chamber, we saw Speaker Johnson and his entourage come through, so we know he's making his way into the leadership offices behind the House chamber or into the House chamber itself to do some work. Aiden, Miami, go ahead. We might have to interrupt you.
Hello. First of all, I just wanted to say I've been a fan of C-SPAN for a long time. I've been watching since 2 years ago, and I'm a Democrat, and I am wanting to see the State of the Union because I don't know how big of a mess it's going to be, or if he's going to actually speak up on the major issues like the files, like the economy, or even mention stuff like Iran.
Aiden, do you think as a Democrat that it is important for you to watch a Republican State of the Union?
Well, we need to see the State of the Union. Even though I disagree with the way the union is going, we have to see how it's going, because in 2026, when it's the midterms, I hope we win both houses and both parts of both the Senate and the House. And I hope we get a good candidate for 2028. So as you guys mentioned, that this is a good starting off point for campaigns, not just for the midterms, but for 2028. So I saw something about, obviously, Massie and Ro Khanna. And the big question I have is, I noticed first with Tillis and then Green, and now with Massie, is that one moment that a member of the GOP starts thinking about the country over party, and even over President Trump, that they get shunned. And I'm just curious about, I'm young, I just about to graduate from high school. I'm getting into college. I'm just generally, you know, just like many people in my generation, we're just confused, we're tired, and we just want to find a way to get better.
Aiden, we really appreciate your calling in. We really appreciate hearing your voice, especially somebody who's just getting ready to graduate high school. Hey, Greta, we've got about 30 seconds, I think, before we...
Yeah. I want to add to what Aiden just said, because Thomas Massey put out on X his view. This is where he's going to be sitting tonight. The Republican congressman who's teamed up with Ro Khanna, and reports are that they'll be sitting together at the State of the Union. He says, this is my view tonight at the State of the Union from the Republican side of the aisle.
And that's the Republican working table there in the House. But Marissa, I want to go to you and talk about what Aiden had to say. We might have to cut you off. But he talked about it. If a Republican comes out against a president, then he gets shunned. Might be a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, so what President Trump has really done in his, especially in his second term, which is quite different from his first term, is he's coalesced the Republican Party behind him. I think back to the early days of his first term, you had like the Speaker of the House, someone like Paul Ryan, who would speak out against Trump on occasion. You had people at that time, like Mitt Romney's. You had Republicans in the House and in the Senate who were not 100% aligned with Trump and would say so. A lot of those people are gone now. And the biggest example of that of late, as you suggested, was Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congresswoman from Georgia. She was
an acolyte. She was an early acolyte.
She ran. I remember interviewing her.
What do you think happened?
Well, she spoke out against him, and she spoke out on an issue that was very sensitive to the White House, and that was the Epstein files. So she took it upon herself to really align herself with the women, the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, and she cast a deciding vote or signature on this Epstein Transparency Act with Ro Khanna, with Thomas Massey. It was mostly Democrats, but they needed a few Republicans to get on board to get this to the floor and actually pass. And she was one of those Republicans. And I think one thing about President Trump that I think is clear is he likes loyalty. He likes people who are in his corner. You stumble over a little bit with this recent Supreme Court tariff ruling where he wasn't happy with the Supreme Court justices that he appointed voting against him. So he's been able to really coalesce power in his second term in a way that was unlike the first. And if people do get out of line, if people speak out against him, he does, they're sort of short on their time.
Okay, Susie Wiles, Chief of Staff, just walked out of the south entrance of the White House. We expect the president in less than 30 seconds. We expect the Senate in Stat Hall in about 30 seconds. They just lined up and left. The doors have been opened. Let's listen in at the White House, see if we can hear anything.
Trump's speech is starting in half an hour, so don't go anywhere. It's starting soon in half an hour, okay?
Alex Cantitano of Politico. We are waiting on the president and Mrs. Trump. Will he stop, do you think?
He tends to. Oh, there's the vice president also going in. He tends to stop and want to chat with the media. Even if we get one sentence out of him, he did say
there
yesterday. Yep.
And it is 16 blocks almost exactly to the Capitol building. He will pull up to the east side of the Capitol. There's a porte cochere, a little overhang that he will get out of. Now, in the Statuary Hall, you can see there went John Cornyn. They mentioned, we heard earlier that Ken Paxton was there. Wes Hunt, of course, the third candidate, is a member of Congress, so he could very well be there as well. But this is the Senate going in. Is that Elizabeth Warren and Peter Welch of
who was
Vermont.
At the White House actually a few weeks ago.
What was Peter Welch doing at the White House? That seems odd to me.
It was on a farming policy.
Trump's
that
speech is
the
starting
president
in
came out
less
with.
than
Peter
half
Walsh
an
was
hour.
there,
He
with
will
Roger
most
Marshall and
likely
some other
talk about the
Republicans, but
tariffs,
definitely notable that a
15%
Democrat
And
was there.
tariffs,
that looked like Lisa
about
Murkowski and Andy
Iran, what's
Kim,
going
a D
on
and an
with
R,
Iran,
walking in together.
and
Oh, there's John Fetterman, of course.
I'm not sure what
There's
else.
Susan Collins. Who was that next to her? Did you see? Was that Michael Bennett?
I thought it was Michael Bennett.
Yeah, you thought it was too, of Colorado? Yeah. Yeah. And these are, this is the staff.
And it looks like a traffic jam too.
It does, yes. Now all the senators, they will walk. Maybe they haven't let them in yet,
right?
Because they haven't turned on the lights, and this, maybe they like to walk in with the lights on and everything. But now we can see the president coming up, and a little crowded in Stat Hall there. You can see that's 25 steps from the House chamber. So.
What's also notable about John Cornyn, we just saw, is the president has not endorsed in that Texas GOP primary.
All three, right?
He likes all three. He is friendly with Attorney General Paxton. He also has a relationship with Congressman Hunt. And then John Cornyn, who's the sitting senator, has not been endorsed. And from my hearing and reporting is that that's given some GOP leadership, some GOP donors, a lot of heartburn about what could happen in this primary. Does it go to a very expensive runoff? And are any of the Democrats formidable candidates enough that depending on whichever Republican wins, could they take them on?
What do you think Trump will talk about? Because Trump said that this will be a longer speech. It won't be
Director of National
one of his short
Intelligence
speeches.
came in, but I don't think
I'm guessing
the
he's also
entire
talk
cabinet
about
came in
migration.
at that point.
He's going to
We're
talk
waiting
about
on the
ICE.
diplomatic corps. We're waiting on the military, the Supreme
He's going to
Court
talk about
justices.
maybe
Out of the
inflation.
9,
I could be wrong.
it'll be
though,
interesting to see who
but
does come. Now,
that's what I'm
Samuel
thinking.
Alito
Oh yeah, yeah.
usually does not
And
attend
remember,
these events.
this
However,
is
there's
250. He's going
speculation
to
that
talk
this is
about
his last
250 years.
He has
which
a
will
book
be
coming out
celebrated
in
this June,
October. So
along with the World Cup.
who knows?
The World Cup will
Here's
also be
Speaker
this
Johnson.
June. So that's what I think he will talk about, but I could be wrong. So if you have any predictions, please leave them in the chat. If you have any prediction about what Trump will talk about. So anyways, I'm gonna turn up the volume now and I'm gonna speak less. Hey, I just wanted to mention, I wonder if the Democrats are going to be protesting, because remember last year, the State of the Union, all the Democrats were like protesting and they were interrupting Trump and stuff, and they had their little signs they were holding up. And I wonder if they're going to be protesting again. I mean, that's what happened last year, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
Minutes
I
away
could be
from
wrong.
the start of the State of the
There's
Union
no
speech, and we are going to
Marjorie Taylor
say
Greene. She won't be attending this time.
goodbye to C-SPAN 2 now, and we are no longer going to simulcast.
Should be interesting to see.
Over on C-SPAN 2.
Because remember last year,
you can see the
a
sights
couple
and
of
sounds,
Democrats
no
got kicked out
commentary,
because they were protesting.
no
It was so
input
loud and
whatsoever.
stuff.
It's
So they
just
kicked them out. I wonder if
all
it's
the
going to
sights
happen
and
this year.
sounds of the State of
I
the
don't know,
Union.
man. This
You'll
should
be
be
able
really
to watch
interesting
everything
to see
and
what
not
happens.
have to listen to anybody.
I
but
don't know. I
we
don't
prefer,
know.
of course, you'd stay here with us, because here on C-SPAN,
We're going
we
to be seeing
have
President Trump
conversation,
soon, though.
we have
So
commentary,
his speech is starting
we
in
have
about
your
20 minutes
calls,
from now.
and we have two
And I
excellent
promise when
journalists
his
with
speech
us here
starts,
tonight.
I won't be
Alex
talking
Gangitano
so
of
much. I'm
Politico
just
and
talking
Marissa
right now
Schultz
because, I mean,
of the New York Post. They
he
will be
hasn't
with
started
us
talking yet, so
until the
might as well,
start of the
right?
speech, and we will kind of annotate and comment
So
on what is
if anyone
going
wants to
on
introduce
on
themselves
the
in the
House
chat,
floor.
feel free to.
We
You know,
expect the president to be
whatever.
arriving very shortly, and let's look in, see if we can see anything right now. There we go. John Barrasso. Dick Durbin, is that Dick Durbin with him, I think?
Yeah.
With JD Vance right behind him?
Dick Durbin.
Yeah, that
retiring,
is. He's retiring this year.
And in leadership, so.
Strong D, he's been very critical of the Trump administration.
The Democrat side does look sparse. from all the House members that aren't there.
Somebody getting the picture taken with the vice president. I don't recognize him, I'm afraid. I'm sorry.
I'm sure this is a bit of a homecoming for Vice President Vance, seeing all of his former Senate colleagues that he's built relationships with for years.
You also have to wonder what's going through his head of, would this be a State of the Union I'd be delivering one day if he has political aspirations beyond this?
It looks like the Joint Chiefs are arriving. It was interesting when we talked to Alex Eisenstadt a little bit earlier. He said, yeah, they're getting ready to leave. We hear the helicopters, et cetera. We hear the sirens.
It is such a huge security event here in D.C. I mean, just the roads around here. And
it's so interesting that this is all happening during this DHS shutdown as well. And the DHS is in charge of things like Secret Service and federal security and Homeland Security, and this is a major event for them. So I would imagine a lot of these workers who spent a lot of time and energy into putting this event on tonight are going unpaid because of the shutdown.
That's a great point.
Speaker Johnson, of course, and J.D. Vance up at the last year, there was a hot mic moment for these two, I believe, where they were talking about the speech, and it wasn't necessarily a complimentary thing.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a hot mic.
What's interesting when it's a opposing party who's the House leadership right now, of course, Johnson and Vance have a good relationship, but in the future, could that be a Democrat up there chatting with Vance before the speech? That's always very interesting to watch.
And when Nancy Pelosi was the speaker, it was always very interesting to see the chemistry or lack thereof.
Her and Mike Pence's dynamics up there.
Yeah. There's some of the that looks like the press corps. It sits behind the speaker.
Right. So they're looking at
they're
the
looking
president.
Down at the they're behind the president where that clock is. That's behind the speaker. So they're right. It's kind of almost the cheap seats in a sense. You don't have the view. It's behind the stage.
As a reporter, though, it's great to see the interactions.
Have you been up in that sitting up there as a reporter? What's that like?
Well, yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say you can hear a lot, surprisingly. So there's moments if there's like arguments on the floor or things that are happening, you can kind of listen closely and hear. But it's great to see them interact with each other. And while you may not see the president right underneath you, you can see you could see fashion statements that people are making in the audience. You can see signs that they're holding and whatnot.
Exactly. And also we rely on our colleagues in the room to tell us who was that who yelled out and so stand for this thing the president said. And so they're kind of the whole outlet's eyes in the room because they only have one reporter per outlet, I think.
There's Senator Warnock walking in with his colleague up for re-election, John Ossoff.
Here's a
Jack Reed
bipartisan
is
duo.
with from North Dakota. Yeah, from North Dakota.
One.
Jack Reed from Rhode Island. His state got slammed, 40 inches of snow. And there's Jean Shaheen, who is retired, Democrat from New Hampshire. She is retiring, so that sets up a pretty strong race in New Hampshire, doesn't it? Or is that with Andy Kim of New Jersey there?
Yo. How's the sound, bro?
Potential GOP take.
Yes, that's a
did you vote? Wait, did you just vote in the poll, man? That's funny.
definitely,
If you're the
race
one
that
who voted just now.
Republicans feel like they can go on
Man, that's
offense in New Hampshire.
And there was a Senator Jody of Iowa. Joni Ernst.
Hold
and
on,
she
let
too
me
is retiring.
let me
There's Byron Donalds
mod you
running
one
for
sec.
governor of Florida. He's got
I
the
already
Trump
modded
endorsement,
Bab, but I'm
and
gonna
he
mod you too.
has a
Hold on.
lead in the polls at this point.
Add as moderator.
But Joni Ernst retiring in Iowa, is that a potential Democratic pickup?
I would say the candidate right now that's leading the way and is quite a favorite. She is Ashley Hinson, and she's really dynamic.
Yeah,
she's
I turned the sound
she's a
down.
Republican. She's
and I'm gonna
dynamic,
turn
and
it
she's
back
had.
up. So I just modded you.
She has a lot
right?
of backers, and
I
she's
think so.
viewed as a really strong candidate for Republicans.
Behind Ted Cruz there, I think I saw
Man, it was so wild, man. Like you should have
Barry
seen
Black,
what happened like
That's right.
like an hour ago. man. It
Longtime
was so
chaplain
wild.
of the Senate.
Opens with a
So
prayer.
basically,
and is a spiritual
what
advisor
happened
for
an
the
hour
Senate
ago
That's right.
throughout
was
the year.
I was streaming the
It's always interesting how long it also takes for everybody to get to their seat.
We saw the Senate about 10 minutes ago, and it's standing outside. They're making their way down. House members, of course, can get in whatever time they want, and they can line the aisle if they want to shake hands with everybody. If they
and it was I got a bunch of like random people in the chat who are like very pro-Trump.
Lobbying message for anybody. They can line the hall there and get in there early.
I can't hear
John
you over
Fetterman
the
has a.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it down for now.
Has he caused?
Yeah. So I was just saying. So an hour ago, I had 7. So an hour ago, I played the old State of the Union from last year, and people didn't know it was the old one. They thought it was the one that's gonna start right now. So I got 7 concurrent viewers all at once, like at the same time. And in the chat, I had like 5 people who are like pro-Trump, and they were saying, there was one guy in the chat, he was like, "Ooh, go RFK Jr., he's great. Pete Hegseth is great." And there was a bunch of other ones who were like very pro-Trump, but I didn't want to like make them leave, so I stayed pretty neutral. I didn't really say anything like aggressive. So I don't know, man. I don't know how like who YouTube shows these videos to, but it's like it was all Trump supporters. I don't know how they're finding this stream, but it's like I know they're all finding this stream somehow. I have no idea how. And yeah. So yeah, that was an hour ago, and as I said, that only happened because I played the State of the Union from last year, the old one. But I guess they didn't really realize it was the old one. Maybe they thought it was. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, yeah, and this was the old one from last year, and these guys thought it was like the one from right now. So they stayed and watched the old one, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want them to know it was the old one. So I just wanted them to see how they would react, and they just kept watching it, the old one. So I was like, I'll just keep playing it. Yeah, that was funny, man. Yeah, I mean, but I don't know how they found the stream. That's what I'm wondering about. Like, how did they find the stream? But now they're not coming anymore. Like over the past half an hour, like people just stopped showing up. I don't know why, but no one's showing up anymore. I guess YouTube just stopped like showing it. Maybe they were recommending it or something. I don't know. No one's showing up anymore. It was fun while it lasted, though, I guess. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I think that. So I started like 2 hours ago. So people thought that. Because the other ones weren't really streaming, they thought that they could watch it on mine. So somehow they were finding mine. But now that everyone's streaming it, then no one's really gonna be watching this stream. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So, you know what I should have done? Oops, I keep bumping myself. I should have started like 5 hours ago. You know, if I started like 5 hours ago, I would have kept getting like all sorts of people who didn't know what time it started. So I would have maybe had even like 10 like concurrent views. Yeah, that's what I should have done. That's actually a great idea. Maybe I'll do that next time. That's actually a pretty smart idea. Yeah, it's like when people don't really know when it starts. Cause I was surprised. I mean, I didn't really get any likes or anything, but I did get cause you can see in the poll above, I got like 7 responses. So there were some people who responded. So yeah. But yeah, that's what I should have done. I really should have started like 5 hours ago, and then, but it's whatever. I mean, now I know what to do next time. Next year, I'm just gonna play the one from this year, and I'll start like 5 hours earlier, and I'll just play the one from this year. But yeah, about the microphone. So my OBS, it doesn't work because I was using my proxy. It's an HTTPS proxy, and it doesn't work with Discord. It doesn't work with OBS. It only works for browsers. So I'm using the YouTube Studio streaming, and there's no options for the mic. I can't really do anything to fix the mic unless it's on OBS. So that's why the mic is kind of it's really mute. That's why I had to mute the entire video right now. I'm gonna unmute it in a second, but actually let me do that right now, and then I'll talk more after that.
And we were speaking about women in office last year, and now this year is a long time in a while that there wasn't a woman up at the podium. We had Vice President Harris up during the Biden years, Speaker Pelosi during Trump,
and some years both of them,
and
two
both
women.
So this is the second year in a long time that we haven't seen that. And I think it was when former Speaker Pelosi was first elected. It was former President George W. Bush who gave her a huge recognition during his State of the Union to say this is the first female Speaker of the House. We'll see in this, as you mentioned, the president in his first term mentioned how many women were elected that election year. We'll see if there is kind of a bipartisan display of sorts this year, something along those lines.
One thing I just noticed, Senator Mark Kelly is there, and he's this interesting character because he's one of these 6 Democrats that put out the video telling members of the military to not follow illegal orders. And that set off attempts to prosecute them and to bring some military charges. And he's going to be face to face with President Trump tonight in this chamber.
And just a minute ago, you saw 2 retiring members, Steny Hoyer of Maryland, former majority leader, talking to Gerald Nadler, former chair of the Judiciary Committee from New York, both retiring. George Conway, in fact, and there's Hakeem Jeffries, the head of the Democrats, potential speaker. If the
joint session will come to order. The chair appoints as members of the committee on the part of the House to escort the President of the United States into the chamber. The gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Scalise. The gentleman from Minnesota, Mr. Emmer. The gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. McClain. The gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Hudson. The gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Reschenthaler. The gentleman from Utah, Mr. Moore. The gentlewoman from Indiana, Mrs. Houchin. The gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Hearn. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Jeffries. The gentleman from California, Mr. Aguilar. The gentleman from California, Mr. Liu. The gentlewoman from Washington, Mrs. Delbene. The gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. Dingell.
The President of the Senate, at the direction of that body, appoints the following senators as members of the committee on the part of the Senate to escort the President of the United States into the House chamber. The senator from South Dakota, Mr. Thune. The senator from Wyoming, Mr. Barrasso. The senator from...
I muted this for a second. I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to play it because oh man, so I think you're right, Steve. I don't think I'll be getting many viewers as I was like 2 hours ago, but I mean, at least I learned my lesson, and now I know how to play the YouTube algorithm for next time. So yeah, I guess that's what happened. So yeah, and now I'm gonna know what to do next time. So that's a good. Otherwise, yeah, I don't want to be interrupting the speech too much. So because one person was complaining earlier that I was interrupting too much, so I'll try not to do that. Yeah, but I think it's right because right now you have literally everyone, like all the big channels are right now are streaming. So like this channel, like it can't really get any traction anymore. Like because it's so small, my channel is so small. It's just like can't really get any traction. So I don't really think I'll be seeing any additional viewers other than you guys. So that kind of like, I mean, it's whatever, but now I know what to do next time. So yeah, right. Maybe next year I'll start like maybe like 5 hours earlier, and I'll play the one from this year, or maybe I'll start like 10 hours earlier, and then I'll play the first one from last year, then this one, and then I'll get maybe like a good chunk of viewers. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna turn the sound back on.
President should be entering in about 8-10 minutes or so. The Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, by the way, is Percy Kayota. He is the ambassador of Palau, and he has been in office since 1997. The Dean is the longest serving ambassador in Washington. It's an honorary title, but then many ambassadors will attend this. In just a minute, you'll hear the Supreme Court announced. They are next up. So this should be interesting to see which of the 9 come in. Who do you think will be there?
I definitely think Kavanaugh will be there. Justice Kavanaugh, President Trump really sung his praises last week for his dissent in this tariff ruling. He said,
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I wait, but but this speech is gonna be like 2 or 3 hours, and I'm gonna be way too tired to be streaming for like another 2 or 3 hours. So I mean, if people don't show up, then maybe I'll stream like an hour at most, and then I'll call it quits. But yeah, but we'll see what happens. I'll do at least like another hour, and if no one's joining, then I'll just call it quits after an hour. It was pretty good though. Like 2 hours ago, it was pretty good. Oh, is that really his title? Wow, I can't believe he actually put that in the title though. That's pretty crazy that he did that. I mean, yeah, that's pretty crazy. He used that word in the title. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, but the thing is, if I use that title, then it would just be like a bunch of pissed off Trump supporters. That would be like, I mean, I'm already getting them as it is, so I will be getting them like, and they will just be leaving angry comments and stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's actually not a bad idea, but we'll see. Yeah, it's just it's the YouTube algorithm. Like the YouTube algorithm doesn't know how to show it to the right audience. Like all my videos are being shown to like Trump supporters. I don't know what's happening with the YouTube algorithm. It's like they're trolling me on purpose. Like I can't build an audience this way. It's like I'm always getting trolled. I don't know what's happening. I feel like they're just having fun, you know? Whatever.
With him. But Coney Barrett on the other side, the president is not so happy with, yet she wanted to be there. Of course, he appointed her in his first term. So I think she's curious what he has. She's one of the newer members, curious what the president has to say. But yeah, only 4 of them in there tonight.
Marissa Schultz, our colleague, Greta Bronner, noted that John Fetterman, D of Pennsylvania, is wearing a suit tonight.
Oh, that is notable.
Well, I think you have to wear a suit and tie,
Yeah. Right.
or at least, I mean, he had a full suit on, but you have to wear a tie in either chamber still for the men.
Yeah, loyal C-SPAN viewers will know he's known for his casual dress, hoodies, shorts,
And at committee
Carhartts.
meetings too, right?
Gym shorts, yeah.
All right, so we've had the diplomat.
Is anyone else just getting tired of like John Fetterman? He's always wearing these hoodies and shorts because it was when he did it the first time, it was like, okay, it was kind of cool, I guess, but he keeps doing it for years now. It's like, it's so like, I don't know, it's always so low class when I like, it's not really entertaining anymore. Yeah, like I remember the first time he wore it, the hoods and the sweater, everyone thought it was pretty cool that he was like a rebel and stuff, but he has been doing it for years, and now it's just like low brow. It's like no longer cool. It's like cheesy. It's like cringe. It's like the dude's just trying so hard just to be kind of like an outsider, but it's like it's not working out for him.
Due with their 4th in July,
right.
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. She's there. And we have not seen Mrs. Trump enter yet.
Oh, there's Senator Kelly.
Is he talking to the Supreme Court? He's talking with Elena Kagan.
Yeah, it looks like he's waiting to.
She's the
head over
senior
there.
justice who was appointed by a Democratic president, I believe.
And the only Democratic liberal justice in the chamber tonight.
Oh, we've got
The only one in the chamber. Oh,
Right.
there's Ivanka and Barron.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Barron Trump, the president's youngest son, and Ivanka Trump, who used to serve in the first administration.
Bro, has anyone ever heard Barron talk? Like, I can't think of a video I've ever heard Barron just say a single word. It's crazy, man. Oh, there's Melania. Maybe we should go and see her new movie. I heard it's great. Yeah.
Bringing two young female students who exemplify two of her policies related to AI education and foster youth services. You can see how Barron Trump just cowers over it.
And he's a what, second year at NYU?
That's right. We'll see if he gets a shout out to the president. Lately has been giving Barron a shout, especially during his social media advice during the campaign. We hear a lot of him talking about Barron.
Mr. Speaker, the president's cabinet.
Here we go. Now maybe we can
figure out
who the designated survivor is.
We knew Secretary
Marco Rubio, Andy Besant, Treasury. Okay, you're going to mark the list. Okay.
Okay.
We'll look. You look, and we'll mark. You see, Mr. Hegseth, Defense, or Department of War.
Oh, I think I see
And
Bondi.
Pam Bondi.
Well, those are the big ones. Not having them in the room would be very.
Yeah, the four RFK Jr., Health and Human Services, Secretary
there's Lori
Turner, HUD.
Chavez Ramirez.
Yeah, a little bit of controversy. I see that they dropped the charges, though, against her husband.
Oh,
if you're interested, if you go to Politico and type in Labor Secretary, you can read the story. There were some charges filed against her husband, sexual harassment charges, but they have been dropped. There's Linda McMahon. There's Secretary Noem, DHS. So Susie Wiles, that's Chief of Staff behind Secretary Noem. That's Susie Wiles, daughter of Pat Summerall, the longtime sports broadcaster. Always a really interesting story there. There's Lee Zeldin.
I did spot Secretary Burgum.
Yeah, I did see Doug Burgum as well.
Interior.
So Burgum is there.
Is this Russ Voigt, OMB director?
Yeah,
Russ Vogt.
Very
Is it Voigt or Vogt?
Vogt.
Thank you. I wasn't sure which one it was.
He's very instrumental in this administration.
Oh, very much so.
Especially during the Doge cuts earlier this year. And then DNI Director Tulsi Gabbard.
Is that Tulsi? Yep, there she is.
Kind of a homecoming for her, too, former House member.
Democrat from Hawaii, in fact. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm noting we haven't seen Brooke Rollins yet, the Agriculture Secretary.
And do you know, I think Greta told us earlier that the Ag Secretary is the most frequent designated survivor.
Oh, there she is, though. in front of
there's
the screen.
Brooke. Brooke
and
Rollins
Secretary
is there.
Lutnick, and then
Lutnick is there. Commerce.
behind Rollins.
Transportation. We saw Scott
Duffy. Sean
Duffy.
Duffy.
Sean Duffy, sorry.
Jamison Greer,
That was
USG
Scott
Bar.
Turner in front of him of HUD,
And then we have Kelly Loeffler.
Small Business Administration.
I was banking on her being. I don't know why, but that's who I guessed.
Well, my guess before was Chris Wright of Energy. I don't think we've seen
Oh,
him yet.
that's a good one. We
I
haven't
could
seen
be the
him.
winner of the 50 cents. Here.
Oh, wait, is that?
Oh man, at least like all the watch hours from this stream, they're gonna get added to the 4,000 watch hours requirement. So at least that's like that's really the good part, I guess.
DNI Director Radcliffe.
CIA.
Oh, CIA. Yeah, Mr. Ratcliffe, former member of the House from Texas.
And Steve Witkoff, the president's Middle East
Oh yeah,
advisor.
good on you.
Going to have peace talks with our nuclear talk again on
You know,
Thursday.
He's been busy.
It's so interesting. John Ratcliffe used to be on all the cable news channels on a frequent basis, and then he became CIA director. We haven't seen him since. When he was a member of Congress, he was always on TV. Oh, there's RFK taking pictures, RFK Jr.
In terms of active members of the cabinet, you're right. He isn't on TV as often as some of them are.
And usually the CIA
Bro, is that the black guy with the red beard? Do you see him like that's a black guy with like a red beard and red hair? I mean, I've never seen that. I've never seen a black guy with like a red beard and red hair. That's wild, man.
Long-time congressman from Tennessee. Oh, there's
Don Jr.
Don Jr.
I believe that was
There's Susie Wiles again.
Christy Noem, some
Yep,
fellow.
Christy Noem, Zeldin.
Well, any
Russ
Democrats get to talk directly with Kristi Noem, I think they'd have
That's
things
Chris Wright.
they
Okay.
want to discuss.
Now, Rubio Hegseth. We have not seen Lori. Did we see Lori? Chavez DeRemer?
Yes,
Okay.
we did see her.
RFK. Chris Wright, we think we saw him. Doug Burgum, Doug Collins.
Doug Collins,
Have we seen
VA.
Doug Collins?
He was a designated survivor last year. He could be.
Because we've seen McMahon, Zeldin, Lutnick, Besant, Nome, Bondi, Gabbard, Turner, Duffy, and Loeffler.
Wow.
Oof.
Double duty, possibly
There
for
we go.
the
I
VA
think we got
secretary.
it. I think we got it.
Maybe
Doug
he
Collins.
enjoyed his time so much, his
Yes.
alone time. I'm always curious what they are doing when they just hang out and watch the speech.
Now, is Doug Collins running for Senate in Virginia or in Georgia? No. Okay.
I don't believe so. He did
Because I know
before.
there's a Republican primary. That's it. He did before.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is a Republican primary to take on Mr. Ossoff, who's up for re-election this year. And I don't think that's been decided.
There's a three-way primary that's pretty tight in Georgia. Buddy Carter, a member of Congress, Mike Collins, and
Mike Collins, that's it.
and then there's Mr. Dooley, who is, I believe, backed by Governor Kemp.
I think what's also notable is this is the same cabinet the president started with. This is the crew that walked down
Right.
last year
Nobody
for
has-
the joint session.
Nobody has left yet, has
There's
it?
obviously
Have they?
speculation over who will be the first, but yeah, we're now in February and everyone's intact.
And I didn't see Eric Trump with the family yet. We saw
believe-
Don Jr., we saw Barron, we saw Ivanka. I don't think I've seen
I think they
Eric
planned.
or the other woman, the other young lady that is his family.
I believe I saw Tiffany,
Did you see
and
Tiffany?
I haven't seen Eric.
And I thought I saw Eric.
Tiffany was there. Tiffany was
And
there.
Eric's wife, former head of the RNC, she's often comes to these events as well.
Yeah,
Laura Trump.
she's got her own show now on Fox, doesn't
Mhm.
she? Yep. So it's 5 after 9. We're expecting a 2-hour speech. In a minute, clerk of the House will come in and say, Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States. Maybe some cheers, some boos. We'll listen to the President as he walks down the aisle. We hope we can hear better than we can hear during this portion. It's fun to watch everybody walk in. I mean, this is a big night in Washington,
Mhm.
like you said. Huge security event because everybody is in one room. So,
I mean, it's just gonna be a campaign speech. Like every speech, he says the same thing. It's just gonna be like the exact same thing he says. Like every speech, like his speeches are basically all the same. I think. So it's like I don't think he's gonna say anything different.
Coming down the center aisle.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Leadership is behind him.
Bro, what's going on with his hair? Look at his hair. What's going on with his hair? It's like, bro. Yeah, it must have been like a windy day. Wow, it's like he's balding, like he's really balding, but it must have been like a windy day or something. Wow, it's like all over the place. Like he forgot his comb, like the comb over. It's like it's the wind, just like wow.
Mr. President, much hot selfie?
You got a YouTube error? Because everything's working fine on my end here. I don't know who those people are. I mean, I've never really seen any of them. I think they're just like randos or somewhere. Yeah, I don't know who though. Wait, are these like congressmen or something? Lord, there's a person, there's a black person who says black people aren't apes. What was that guy's name? It was like Green, Al Green or something, right? Al Green. He was holding a sign that said black people aren't apes. Yeah, I think that's what his name is. Al Green. Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, Al Green was holding up a huge sign that read "Black people aren't apes." But they only showed it for like 2 seconds. It was like 5 minutes ago. Whoa, Trump's hair looks like it's pink or something. Like, look at the hair color. It doesn't look like pink or something. What?
Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's really an honor. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, First Lady of the United States.
Steve, you were right. Barron never smiles. Wow.
Second Lady of the United States. Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before. Less than 5 months from now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America.
Oh man, that's so funny. Like half the place is clapping, the other ones are just like sitting. That's funny.
I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago. I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, a wide open border, horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages. And we will never go back to where we were just a very short time ago.
Someone took Al Green's sign. Did you see it? Because I don't know who the guy was, but someone took his sign away. Wait, are they booting him again? Because that's what happened last year. They booted him. I think they just booted him out of the place once again. Wow, that's pretty crazy. That happened fast.
Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before, and our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked, and America is respected again, perhaps like never before. After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far. In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States. But we will always allow people to come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country. The flow of deadly fentanyl across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year.
Man, he says one sentence and people just start, like the Republicans, they start clapping for like 30 seconds, and he just says one sentence and they start clapping. It's like, what's going on, man?
In recorded history, this is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years, year 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before he was born. That's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%.
his hair is glowing. It's like a different color. It's like pink orange or something. Like I've never seen it like that. But see, it's like yeah, it's like pink orange or something.
A disaster is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline. Mortgage rates are the lowest in 4 years and falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year. And low interest rates will solve the Biden-created housing problem well, at the same time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both. And we are going to keep it that way. The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that, 1 year. Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe. Think of it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes. A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest.
Man, this clapping, this is like WWE with the clapping. It's like the same thing.
And factories, plants, and laboratories are being built. We have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching. American oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil. American natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill.
Bro, he just said Joe, baby Joe, and everyone just started clapping again. It's like you can just say 3 words and they clap.
Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. And 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector.
Yo, I think like 1/3 of the speech is gonna be him talking, and like 2/3 of the speech is just gonna be them clapping. I mean,
DEI in America.
He literally just said DEI and they started clapping. DEI and they started clapping. And see how long they're clapping? They're clapping for like 20 seconds.
Regulations, and in 1 year we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps. And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong.
Yeah, they don't even know what they're clapping about. It's just like he says a sentence, they're not probably listening to him, and they just go and clap. See how much clapping? I mean, this is ridiculous. Look at the clapping. It's like 20 seconds.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
Yo, did you see that image of Kash Patel? He was drinking a beer with the Olympics team. I don't know if you saw that image. He was in Milan. I think that was a few days ago. That was like on Sunday, and he was like drinking a beer with them. Yeah, he's furious because I mean, it's the stimulants, man. I mean, the stimulants. You know, they really are just stimulating.
Go ahead.
USA, USA, USA.
That's the first time I've ever seen them get up. And actually, not all of them did get up. But they beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House. They were in the Oval Office before. And I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, so we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there and they weren't about to say no, because I'd never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck.
Is he gonna ask them to give for them to give him their medals? I mean, I'm pretty sure that he's gonna be like, "Oh, give." He's gonna want their medals. I'm sure of it.
Think of it, 46 shots on goal, and I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off. You practiced that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case, my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given and which has been given to many athletes over the years, But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Great athletes have gotten that, very great, the best, and I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no, and every single one of them rapidly put up their hand. So I want to thank you. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much. I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics, and it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles. And Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country. And this year, and I must say I got them both. I got them in the first term, and I was disappointed because I didn't think I'd be the president when this happened. But strange things took place. And now I've got them because I got the Olympics and I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup. So we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming. And that is exciting news. So this will be a year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago this month, he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday. So, Buddy, you're a brave man, and we salute you. Even in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas, one of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember that one. As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClelland closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die. Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission, a young guy, but very brave, very, very top, always top in his class. And he lifted not just Millie Kate, but 164 others to safety. People watched Scott from a distance, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The winds were blowing, the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water, nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow, that's something. Tonight, Scott and Millie Kate are here together, reunited for the very first time. Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate. And Petty Officer Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank you. And I'd like to have the military aide to please come down and take care of the service. Military aide, thank you very much. Take care of that very important service. Thank you very much. From 1776 to today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they're really doing it for the next generation. But now it's our turn. Together, we're building a nation where every child has the chance to reach higher and go further, where government answers to the people, not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern. That is the debt we owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th year. Last year, I urged this Congress to begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans. All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary massive tax cuts. They wanted large-scale tax increases to hurt the people instead. But we held strong, and with the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. And we also made interest on auto loans tax deductible the first time, but only if the car is made in America. Recently in Pennsylvania, I met Megan Hemhauser, a devoted mom who's homeschools her children, beautiful, 2 children, during the day while waiting tables at night as her husband works overtime operating very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening, and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and her expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000 extra just for the year, cutting her tax bill in more than half. Megan, please stand up. We're fighting for you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. We're fighting for you, Megan. Under our bill, parents like Megan can also activate their children's brand new Trump accounts. And I didn't name it. I did not name that. Nobody believes me, but I did not name it. It was named by a very tall man sitting right there in the third row. Nice man, a good man. Tax-free investment accounts for every American child. This is something that's so special and has taken off and gone through the roof. Millions will be pre-funded courtesy of the U.S. Treasury and private individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6.25 billion to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children. They're great people. When I asked Michael Dell, how do you make all that money? He said, well, I just sat on my dorm in school and I made computers and I'd sell them to people. And I just kept selling and selling and selling. And pretty amazing story. That's called the American dream. He sold a lot of computers, a lot of those laptops. So I congratulate him on that. But I really thank him and Susan, as well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very tremendous guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner. Thank you, Brad. So with modest additional contributions, these young people's accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it. How much money is that for somebody that started with nothing? Over 100,000, could be much more than that. To make this investment in our children's future, go to trumpaccounts.gov, trumpaccounts.gov. And a lot of people are doing it. It's setting every record in the book. It's popular. They knew what it was going to take. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of the people that got it started. And now it's just taken off. One of the primary reasons for our country's stunning economic turnaround, the biggest in history, where the Dow Jones broke 50,000 4 years ahead of schedule, and the S&P hit 7,000, where it wasn't supposed to do it for many years, were tariffs. I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically and on a national security basis. Everything was working well. Countries that were ripping us off for decades are now paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. They were ripping us so badly, you all know that. Everybody knows it. Even the Democrats know it. They just don't want to say it. And yet these countries are now happy, and so are we. We made deals. The deals are all done. And they're happy. They're not making money like they used to, but we're making a lot of money. There was no inflation, tremendous growth. And the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't. They got it totally wrong. They got it really wrong. And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling. But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement. So despite the disappointing ruling, these powerful country-saving, it's saving our country, the kind of money we're taking in, peace-protecting. Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without. Will remain in place under fully approved and tested alternative legal statutes. And they have been tested for a long time. They're a little more complex, but they're actually probably better, leading to a solution that will be even stronger than before. Congressional action will not be necessary. It's already time-tested and approved. And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love. Right? Moving forward, factories, jobs, investment, and trillions of dollars will continue pouring into the United States of America because we finally have a president who puts America first. I put America first. I love America. For decades before I came along, we had the exact opposite. From trade to healthcare, from energy to immigration, everything was stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth out of the productive, hardworking people who make our country great, who make our country run. Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. They were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen. And record-setting inflation that cost the typical family $34,000 in just a speck of time. Now the same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly used the word affordability, a word, they just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem. They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward. The price of eggs is down 60%, Madam Secretary, thank you. The cost of chicken, butter, fruit, hotels, automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot. And even beef, which was very high, is starting to come down significantly. Just hold on a little while, we're getting it down. And soon you will see numbers that few people would think were possible to achieve just a short time ago. Nobody can believe when they see the kind of numbers, and especially energy, when they see energy going down to numbers like that, they cannot believe it. It's like another big tax cut. I'm also confronting one of the biggest ripoffs of our times, the crushing costs of health care caused by you. Since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act, sometimes referred to as Obamacare, big insurance companies have gotten rich. It was meant for the insurance companies, not for the people. With our government giving them hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year as their stock prices soared 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, and even 1,700%, like nothing else. That's why I introduced the great healthcare plan. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own healthcare, which will be better healthcare at a much lower cost. In addition, my plan requires maximum price transparency. That's a big deal. Sounds so simple, so big. And I did that in my first term, and the Democrats immediately terminated it with full knowledge that they were doing a very bad thing for the people. Costs were going to go way up, and that's what happened. And now I'm bringing them way down on healthcare and everything else. I'm also ending the wildly inflated cost of prescription drugs like has never happened before. Other presidents tried to do it, but they never could. They tried. Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close. They were all talk and no action, but I got it done. Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans who have for decades paid by far the highest prices of any nation anywhere in the world for prescription drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere, the lowest price. So in my first year of the second term, should be my third term, but strange things happen. I took prescription drugs, a very big part of healthcare, from the highest price in the entire world to the lowest. That's a big achievement. The result is price differences of 300, 400, 500, 600% and more, all available right now at a new website called TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name that one either, by the way. And here tonight is the very first customer ever to get that big discount, and it is big, Catherine Rayner. For 5 years, she and her husband have struggled with infertility, and they turned to IVF. One drug has been costing Catherine $4,000 to purchase. But a few weeks ago, she logged onto the Trump RX website and got that same drug that cost $4,000, got it for under $500, a reduction of much more, actually, than $3,500. Catherine, we are all praying for you, and you're going to be a great mom. So now I'm calling on Congress to codify my most favored nation program into law. Now, the one thing I'm not sure it matters because it's going to be very hard for somebody that comes along after me to say, let's raise drug prices by 700 or 800%. But John and Mike, if you don't mind, codify it anyway. They may do it. Codify it anyway. Thank you. Many Americans are also concerned that energy demand from AI data centers could unfairly drive up their electric utility bills. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that I have negotiated the new Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is? We're telling the major tech companies that they have the obligation to provide for their own power needs. They can build their own power plants as part of their factory so that no one's prices will go up. And in many cases, prices of electricity will go down for the community and very substantially down. This is a unique strategy never used in this country before. We have an old grid. It could never handle the kind of numbers, the amount of electricity that's needed. So I'm telling them they can build their own plant. They're going to produce their own electricity. It will ensure the company's ability to get electricity while at the same time lowering prices of electricity for you and could be very substantial for all of you cities and towns. You're going to see some good things happen over the next number of years. Another pillar of the American dream that has been under attack is home ownership. With us tonight is Rachel Wiggins, a mom of two from Houston. She placed bids on 20 homes and lost all of those bids to gigantic investment firms that bypassed inspection, paid all cash, and turned those houses into rentals, stealing away her American dream. She was devastated. Stories like this are why last month I signed executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up in the thousands single-family homes. And now I'm asking Congress to make that ban permanent, because homes for people, really, that's what we want. We want homes for people, not for corporations. Corporations are doing just fine. Rachel, thank you very much. Good luck with your home. You'll get one soon. We're also working to make it easier for Americans to save for retirement. And under this administration, we will always protect Social Security and Medicare. They are not protecting it for our seniors. We will always protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Since I took office, the typical 401k balance is up by at least $30,000. That's a lot of money. We have millions and millions of people, because the stock market has done so well, setting all those records. Your 401ks are way up. Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity, I'm announcing that next year my administration will give these often forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year. As we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information. They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here? Doubt it. Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay. I wasn't sure if anybody even on this side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed. But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President, J.D. Vance. We'll get it done. And we're able to find enough of that fraud we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our budget. The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games. Delilah. Delilah Colton was only 5 years old in June 2024 when a 18-wheel tractor trailer plowed into her stopped car traveling at 60 miles an hour or more. The driver was an illegal alien let in by Joe Biden and given a commercial driver's license by open borders politicians in California. Doctors said Delilah would never be able to walk or talk, have a good life. She wouldn't even be able to eat again. But against all odds, she is now in the first grade learning to walk. And she's here this evening with her dad, Marcus, a fantastic man. Delilah, please, you are a great inspiration. Please stand up. Thank you, Delilah. Many, if not most, illegal aliens do not speak English and cannot read even the most basic road signs as to direction, speed, danger, or location. That's why tonight I'm calling on Congress to pass what we will call the Delilah Law, barring any state from granting commercial driver's licenses to illegal aliens. And yesterday, as you probably saw at the White House, I hosted a ceremony with Americans who lost their treasured loved ones to the scourge of illegal immigration. People